absolutely wonderful finish.
This is for the match. That's for the win. A 4-2. Oh, what a fight from Justin.
An opening 12-darter from Terry Nash. So much for having 3 games.
And there is nothing sweeter than a repeater for Paul. Good evening, welcome to Group B here at the Modus Super Series. This afternoon we saw Group C get underway and it was thrilling stuff, but there was one player that stood out from the rest. Paul Nicholson is alongside me and we're going to start with a lovely chat, Paul, because Thomas Lovely was excellent this afternoon.
He was. Scored heavily, looked comfortable, maybe more comfortable than we've ever seen him in any arena. But I think the most impressive thing about Thomas this afternoon, and we didn't ask him about this, but in his 4th game, he lost from 3-0 up. A lot of players would say that shouldn't have happened. And let's face it, it probably shouldn't have happened. But in the next game, when he was tested, he came back, he started valiantly, and he got the job done. It showed that he's got a lot of qualities. And he's going to take some stopping this week.
Certainly is, but it is still quite open in that group. Let's just show you the story of the week. Overall, Stowe Bunce already through 2 finals, not having won Group A. James Richardson and Fallon Sherritt with a better end to the day kept their hopes alive. Ricky King and Darren Armstrong are the 2 players that they're chasing, and Thomas Lovely in pole position in that Group C. But tonight, Group B, well, it looks really, really appetising, doesn't it? Noa-Lynn van Leuven, Devon, Petersen coming in from Group A and joined by, well, Paul Hogan, who won in the previous series. Justin Hood has also won a previous week title as well, and Terry Nash has been to a final.
The fact that everybody's made a Saturday is a very good narrative because everybody knows how to do it. What we'll talk about in commentary is how far away it's been since they've made it and how well they've done on Saturday nights. Because when you talk about Terry Nash, he's been to a final. And when you talk about Noa-Lynn van Leuven, she's been to a semi-final. So the ways that you graduate through the week, whether it's just through 1 group or 2, and how you get through the group on a Saturday night, these players, the majority have done that already. So it's just about replicating what they've done before.
You mentioned Noa-Lynn van Leuven there. She wasn't a million miles away from getting through from Group A earlier this week. What did you make of her performance over the first 3 days?
I was very impressed. The fact that she was troubling the top of that table quite a lot in the first 3 days shows how competitive she is. And there were certain departments for me that were working better than others. When she was hot on that treble 20, she was extremely hot. But the double top shooting at times was elite. Taking it out first start with 3 darts in hand, converting combinations. I feel that's a strength that she can definitely move forward with. But just turning the bad visits into slightly better ones might have such a profound effect on what happens here this week.
Another player I want to talk about is Terry Nash. He's that classic qualification stories, and he came through the ADC qualifiers the first time around, got all the way to a final, and is invited back for another go.
Yeah, I think this is something we talk about with a lot of players. When they get their opportunity, they've got to come here and take as much of it as they can. So when Nashi was making a final, we thought, well, surely he's going to come back, and it'll be interesting to see what kind of level he brings back to the Super Series. But Terry can obviously play. His reputation was communicated to us through various means, and we were instructed that when he's played for his county and when he's played in ADC darts, he's a very heavy scorer. He's starting to show that every time he comes here. I'll be interested to see if he brings that again tonight.
Yep, he's actually the rank outsider in this group, Terry Nash, 13-2. As far as the odds compilers are concerned, it is looking good for Justin Hood. Would you agree?
Yeah, I would. I think Justin's in fabulous form. He's had a great challenge tour season. He's been playing some Pro Tour darts because they've been going quite far down the list. And Justin's not that far down the list, but he's getting experience of playing some of the elite players in the PDC tour card system. The only thing that surprises me about the odds there is that Paul Hogan's ahead of Noa-Lynn and Devon. I'm not sure on form that is accurate, but time will tell.
Quick word on the opening match. Devon Petersen taking on Paul Hogan, who is back here having won his week in the previous series. But Devon Petersen himself has garnered some confidence on this very week. So how do you see this one going?
Well, if Devon Petersen was a stock, you would have bought it on Tuesday and you'll have seen it rise on Wednesday, and tonight you expect that price to go up again. It's just a question of whether Devon knows what he's doing right or whether things will retract a little bit. I really hope for his sake that his checkpoints are good. We'll get onto that in a minute. But his rhythm, if that's good, he could do anything.
Well, let's find out. And before we do, it is time to hear from Paul Hogan back after winning in Series 8, making it through to Champions Week, where it didn't go his way, but certainly full of confidence on his return to what is a bit of a home from home here at the Live Lounge. Here's what he had to say. Paul, welcome back to the Modus Super Series. You come back as a weekly winner. Just first of all, sum up your feelings about the last series, winning that week, and then your experience at Champions Week.
I've been down there a few times. I mean, to win that, it was, you know, I was just thought, wow, can't believe I've been trying so long, and you know, to get through to that, it was great.
Is it a really big deal for you darts players that are outside of the PDC tour card positions to come here and win a week? Is it kind of a thing to tick off the list, so to speak?
Oh yeah, it's definitely a tick up the list. I mean, you know, you got so many good players down here. They are PDC standard, and you know, you've just got to go up there and do your best.
How much confidence has it given you to do it again here and perhaps play well in other places as well?
I'm confident. You know, I'm just if I go up there and play my own game, I know I'm going to do well. But you know, it's on the day.
Any thoughts on the group that you're in for the next couple of nights?
No, not really. You know, they're all good players, so I've just got to go up there and do what I do.
And that's kind of what it's always been about for you in your careers, and that approach has served you well so far. So why change it, I suppose?
Yeah, exactly. Why change it? You know.
Well, good luck tonight.
Thanks, Chris. Thank you. Cheers.
Yeah, good habits are worth keeping, aren't they? And that's what Paul Hogan is intending to do on his return to the Super Series stage, where he had that weekly success about 3 months ago. Made it through to Champions Week for the first time when he won week 6 of Series 8. The 61-year-old from Basingstoke, I believe, became our oldest weekly winner when he did that. Devon Petersen, just 38, did make it through to the weekly finals when he was here for the first time. And it's become a regular fixture. And I think there were some who were watching and thinking, well, Devon's decline was not recoverable. But this week, he's shown signs that he could be back on an upward trajectory.
Game on.
Here's the misconception about when you evolve as a dart player. I was just waiting to see if Hogan would actually hit that 180 with the first 3 darts of the night. It's a good start, though. Devon is not the same person that he was when he first broke through into the PDC system and moved to England. In 2020, when he was at his supposed peak to this point in his life, his strengths were lying with 180 shooting and hitting doubles 81 in the bottom left corner of the board. The misconception is very simple. People expect him to be exactly that again. What he may have to do
100.
Is evolve and do things differently. If he starts finding the 180s again, that's a great thing.
Well, there's one.
180, Polycar, 121.
But Hogan's right there to take the first leg, but won't.
97. Devon Nucar,
If Devon doesn't hit the ton, he probably will. First leg of the night, first sign of micro frustration from Devon.
42. Polycar, 24.
Yeah, a little bit frustrated, as Paul Nicholson mentioned,
Each
and
on
it'll
the
be
first
even
leg,
more
Paul
so now
Hogan.
that disappointment is compounded as Paul Hogan pins
Second
Double
leg, Devon
12
through first.
for the
Game
first
on.
leg of the night. The first of 10 tungsten ties taking place here on the Super Series YouTube channel,
75.
where you'll see every dart fly, but maybe not every single one land.
Two things that I'm really happy with when it comes to Devon this week, from a neutral perspective, because when it comes to Devon, I don't have any skin in the game.
45.
He had the most 180s in Group A. He was averaging 1.5 180s per match, which is
140.
decent. It's getting to where he wants to be. And from 9:30 Monday morning, he has not changed kit
140.
at all. And for someone who's been fiddling a bit, this is a good sign.
95.
And what he's done very well is navigated his way past blocker darts. He puts one low below that
85.
treble 20, a bit like Paul Hogan did there, and he manages to find a way through.
He's
100.
got a lot of good things about his throw, but if I were presented with a genie and they said you can
139.
gift
Devon
Devon
Car
one
91.
thing for his game, I'd say I just wish he could stand a bit more still. There's a lot of torso movement,
51. Paul the Car
and that would allow him
92.
to throw with a little bit more of a relaxed body. Just looks a bit tense to me. He'll be feeling tense if Hogan hits the double 16.
60. Devon your car.
Well, it's
40.
his turn to be disappointed.
Getting shot on the second
And
leg.
Petersen
Devon Petersen.
makes him pay.
Third leg, Paul through first. Game on.
I think Hogan is a really good story of perseverance. Someone who has been
100.
here since the very beginning of what was the Modus Super Series in our previous studio. He's been here every series
43.
because he deserves to be here, and was largely seen as the best player not to have won a weekly title, alongside the likes of Adams and Thornton.
100.
But now that he's got that, he can come in here and think to himself, I don't have to go out there and prove that I've done it.
95.
But boy, would I like to do it again.
You'd just be relieved not to have seen Lisa Ashton in the practice room tonight, Paul Hogan, because that's
100.
two World Seniors TV events now where he's lost out to Lisa playing brilliant darts. In fact, he had the highest average of the first round in York and lost 8-3.
140.
Ouch.
It was actually, in the end, the second highest average of the whole tournament. And even more annoyingly for him, Lisa Ashton could not repeat
95.
that performance that she put in her next game against Leonard Gates.
It's amazing how many times that happens. It's one of the darting phrases that should go down in history. Why didn't you play like that against
53.
me?
Paul the Car 106.
Treble 18 next. Not found. So we are going to see
98.
Devon
Devon Car
Petersen
170.
get his fishing tackle out.
$60. Paul the Car 8.
2 4s. His favourite corner of the board.
Game shot on the
Just
third
like
leg.
that.
Paul Hogan.
Loves a double 18. And people who like double
Paul like
18
Devon is through first. Game on.
automatically love double 4 as well, because it's right next door.
$60.
Comes across as really humble, doesn't he, Hogan? He's been that way for 30 years. When he first made his Lakeside debut in 1995, he looked a little different to
140.
now, but he hasn't changed. And he's like somebody else who made their debut in 95, Peter Wright. They're cut from very
100.
similar cloths. They're honest, hard-working, brilliant dart players who have obviously taken different
140.
directions, but who they are hasn't changed.
The right cloth has become a little more colourful over the years.
91.
But Paul Hogan always affectionately described as the professional amateur, because he's never really pursued that top pro career, however, has found
100.
himself in many of the world's biggest events regularly.
We will continue to call him the professional amateur because of his exploits at the UK Open.
60.
But I think Paul Hogan's got cult status,
121.
which sounds a bit cooler. About as cool as that bullseye.
81.
Well, he's certainly the king of the qualifiers, isn't he, Paul Hogan? You mentioned it. The UK Open qualifications have been plenty, but also made it
39.
through the
Paul
BDO
Hogan,
World Championship
40.
qualifiers a record 6 times.
Game shot on the fourth leg. Paul Hogan.
And he gets the fourth leg here. All going very well for Paul Hogan,
leg
who is
Paul to
producing
through
a
first.
high
Game
level of
on.
performance. That 13 darter takes his average up to 102.
$81.
Both Devon and Noa-Lynn van Leuven have done something this week. When they've come back to the Live Lounge in Portsmouth, they've set new average personal bests.
44.
Devon this week with 101.27. And currently his highest checkout in his Super Series career is 125. I'm
100.
surprised it's not more than that. But the person who's got the best personal numbers in a game of anybody in this group, it's the person playing against Devon right now. But then again, he's had more opportunities than anybody else.
Well, he's got the 2 maximums
97.
in this match as Devon Petersen, but it's Paul Hogan who is teetering around the ton mark in terms of the average.
60.
Really polished performance by Paul.
And he'll be doing this off the back of a day at
99.
work. Would have had a few hours off and then made his way down the motorway to Portsmouth, something he's probably done
60.
2,500 times
24.
over the course of the last 20 years to play some form of darts. This is just another night at the office.
44.
Well, he could have left that hand here.
157.
May only be the 1 darter double when he comes back. Did I say when? I meant if. Because Devon Petersen, he's taking aim at tops. And that was close to being a blockbuster.
Paul Hogan 80.
Video shops are out of business. Ooh. Wow. Somewhat serendipitous.
40.
And not victorious.
20.
Was he distracted by that bad second dart?
Well, we saw Thomas Lovely actually hit the
Game shot
60
on the
when he
fifth
had
leg.
60.
Devon Petersen.
But that's a bit of Petersen pickpocketry there.
6 leg Devon to throw first. Game on.
And he will now throw to level the match and force a decider.
You might want to copyright that saying, by the way. Petersen pickpocketry, because that will be a product within about 7 days if you don't do it.
60.
Devon's dartful dodger.
I'll say one thing about his double 10 shooting this week. It's been remarkable. I know that you're on double 10 a lot. And it says that your double top shooting hasn't been up to scratch. But boy, let's just look at the glass half
60.
full. Petersen on 10s this week. It's been Wade-worthy. It's been that good.
60.
Well, we have seen some remarkable comebacks so far today. Darren Armstrong this afternoon
45.
recovered from 3-1 down in a match to win and 3-0 down to win a match. So is there any reason why Petersen can't do the same?
45.
With a look like that, why not?
I was going to say a look of confusion on his face before approaching the hockey.
60.
Hogan seems to have lost his way over the last leg and a bit.
81.
Average has dropped by about 8 points. And he's praying that Petersen doesn't get to a finish here, which would give him 2 visits. And in the background there, Hogan
60.
saying to himself, what are you doing? Why did you miscount?
Yeah, he could have gone for the bullseye, couldn't he, and left himself on a finish.
55.
It just so happens that Hogan does have 6 starts from 175.
45.
It turns out he's got 6 starts from here.
120.
He'll want to get rid of it really quickly to make sure there's no doubt that
60.
the first 2 points of Group B will be his.
$100. Polo car 60.
And the points will be his if this is taken. No doubt on the single 20 this time.
40.
However,
Devon car 71.
he's now missed a couple. Can he save this match on the double that Hogan's just missed?
51. Polo car 20.
Dart players do not like missing tops low. It's like missing a putt short. It was never going to be in. But that one is in.
Match, Paul Hogan.
And Hogan limps over the line in the first game of Group B. His average was diving down towards the end. But as he leaves the stage, he won't care because the points are in the bag. Making full use of having the throw and getting a break along the way. He puts Petersen in the bin in the first one. Hogan takes it in 6 legs. And when we come back, it's going to be Nashy up against Noa-Lynn for our second game in Group B.
It's Phil, the Power Taylor. Dazzler, Glenn Durant. Game, shot, tournament. It's Wolfie, Martin, Adam. Jackal, King of Bling, the Dazzler, Bobby George. Game, shot, out.
Welcome back to the Modus Super Series. It's Thursday night here, and Group B is getting underway. Paul Hogan's already got 2 points in his mitts, and now Noa-Lynn van Leuven will tried to follow suit, albeit against the darts, against Nashi. He's back. And the last time he was here, he was a runner-up in week 8. Now, if you look closely at the Super Series best, you'll see a similarity between Noa-Lynn and Terry, because it actually was the man from Wales who eliminated Noa-Lynn that night in the semi-finals. So they cross paths again, and this time it's in a Group B
Looks like
situation.
Terry to throw first.
We're
Game
going to see
on.
a bit of history repeating. Good memories for Terry Nash. In fact, I think he really did embrace that Super Series finals night, didn't he? It was a
121.
great occasion for him and his family.
Played really well. And I mean really well.
140.
And when you've had an occasion like that, when the dust settles over the course of the next 36 to 48 hours,
60.
your immediate reaction is, I want more of that. I want another shot. Now he's got another shot. What does he do with it?
57.
Wales have had such a massive footprint in this place
45.
since we started just over 2 years ago in Portsmouth. Great weekly Welsh winners. And I think Terry wants to be one of them.
140.
Only lost in the last leg decided to Neil Duff as well, didn't he? Missed starts.
84. Nolan Nukar, 164.
Duffman finished the job that night so well, though. That last leg was brilliant.
64.
It's a very popular shot, that now, isn't it? That trimming of the 64 off the 164 if you don't get any troubles.
82.
It makes a lot of
Nolan Nukar,
sense.
100.
Well, that one's wayward, but it can be rescued. Treble 19 was required to do that.
44.
So
Terry
Nash
Nukar,
gets a look at
109.
109.
That doesn't help him.
$77. Nolan Nukar, 56.
In the lead up to this game, I have said that Nolan's double top shooting has been really good this week.
Game
Right
shot
on
the first
cue.
leg. Nolan van Leuven.
An immediate break of throw. And when she was in
Second leg, Nolan to throw first.
a Group B scenario the last time,
Game on.
she played very, very well. In fact, I think better than she's played so far this week.
Yeah, top the table with a dozen points, dropping just
58.
2 matches. In a group, actually, where former
100.
Super Series champion Scott Taylor did not qualify.
That was the biggest shock of that entire week.
125. $85. $44.
Well, attacking the throw here, Terry Nash needing to find treble,
59.
but can't manage to do so.
$99.
I think the fact that Noa-Lynn has been living with the best 180 shooter in Group A and not that
45.
far off the same average for the week as the group winner just goes to show why she's in Group B and why she's been so
135.
competitive all week.
And that's a perfect setup to illustrate the point that Paul Nicholson was making. She does have an air of dominance about the way she plays the game.
92. Nolan Nukar, 40.
High standards. Double 10 this time.
Game shot on the second leg. Noa-Lynn
And those
Van Leuven.
standards, they're not necessarily
Further
being
activity
met
through
in this
first.
game,
on.
but the job is being done. This is slightly under what she's been doing this week, average-wise. But
58.
sometimes you just got to get the win to start you off on the right path. And when she was doing an interview at the end of Group A, she said that she's always more comfortable playing at night.
28.
Well, let's have a look at the aesthetics, Paul. A chance for you to analyse Noah's Ark.
131.
I'll do it next time round. Now, the action of Nash, what you'll see is that little jerk of the upper right arm.
60.
It's quite a thrust. But look at the relaxed nature of the arm of Noa-Lynn. That is sensational.
100.
But did you see that little leaning into dart 3? My word, that is so common.
43. Noa-Lynn, your car.
There's a chance
130.
to increase the lead. Yeah, it is one of the
58.
most common mistakes, if you want to call it that, isn't it, that darts players make? Third dart isn't thrown exactly the same as darts 1 and 2.
119. Noa-Lynn, your car. 72.
We'll get back onto that in a second, but 3-0 for Noa-Lynn is beckoning.
Game shot
And
on the
there's
third
that tops
leg.
prowess
Noa-Lynn Van
once
Leuven.
again. 50 darts needed for the
Fourth
first
leg,
3
Noa-Lynn through
legs.
first. Game on.
Which means, based on patterns, a 15 darter here will get a 4-0 win.
It's an excellent performance so far. Clinical at the end of legs. Setting up
60.
decent, finishing very good. 60% strike rate on the doubles so far.
80.
One more point on throwing dart 3 the same as previous darts. I always say you should throw dart 3 like
135.
dart 2. Because dart 1 is always different to the others because it involves the approach.
140.
That walk to the oche, that is part of dart 1. It's part of getting into position. So dart 3, you're already in position. It should be just like dart 2.
118.
This is not
140.
going to be the ideal start for Terry if Noa-Lynn does get a 15 darter. It's very possible, considering what's just happened.
141.
Well, that setup again, sublime. Actually, the first maximum of this
43.
match, and it leaves
Noa-Lynn,
Noa-Lynn Van
you can't
Leuven on
eat.
double 4 for a 4-0 win. Well, that was the ugliest dart she's thrown in the game. And that one's not much help.
No score.
And that one's not
Tony
much
O'Connor,
better.
98.
Gone from a perler visit to a complete yucky one.
62. Noa-Lynn, your car. 8.
Well, we know what'll happen now.
Game
First
shot
start,
of the
no
match,
question.
Noa-Lynn Van Leuven.
4-0 to Noa-Lynn Van Leuven. Terry Nash does not have a happy return to the Modus Super Series, but it is a fantastic start to the Group B campaign for Noa-Lynn Van Leuven, who was second best in Group A, but hoping to be top of the tree in Group B, and that is the way to begin that bid. A 4-0 win over Terry Nash. Coming up next, we're going to see Paul Hogan, who beat Devon Petersen in his opening game, taking on Happy Feet Justin Hood.
Very good dart. He's done it. Not today.
Yeah, there was a chance, but there's no chance there.
FG's taken over here, and he's.
Definitely not him. It's definitely
he thinks
not
it's
him.
him.
Hold on. Yeah, no, I'm not giving you that.
We are getting towards the back end of the leg here, and it's not going to go the way I thought it was there. I was about to mention the fact that we do have that rule in place.
That is a great marker. And a great win for Ginge, who goes through. Oh, he's found it already. He couldn't find the treble, but he can find the doubles. And he's found himself in the next round. Great dart. And I can't help but think that level 7 now. And he's found it. Sean Nyland has knocked out Darts for Fun, the favourite for the singles competition and the winner of the pairs.
I don't think is too bad an idea considering how the first 18 darts have gone for Ellis.
Is this the first time we're seeing tag team darts?
Oh, I'm not sure.
Making the most of it, lads.
Time supporter and friend
Okay,
of
no,
Ellis.
maybe not. Not 1 second. Okay. Up we
Hold
come.
on.
What's
We're
your
doing the
name?
same now.
Okay, Jaden, you require 74.
He knows where he's going. 56, double 20. Oh, that's a good effort. That's a very good effort. He throws a lovely dart. I think we should send one of them down and let one of them play against Jaden. That's a good dart.
Plenty of dartboard to use for one of the most unorthodox ways you'll ever see a semi-final being won.
And that is good.
It's a nervy game, a nervy encounter. He is the favourite now to go on and win it, and he's trying to get... Struggled today with a bit of nerves. And that extra moment, that little bit of pause, that little bit...
Second dart.
Calm down a little bit, just relax into the game.
Oh, hold on. Yay! We have the first one coming into it, sir.
One of them things either loves or hates in a darts time. And he loves it! But that is...
It's Angry Jim!
Welcome back to this evening's Arrows action, and we have the third game of the night. And the first, for Happy Feet himself, Justin Hood, and it has been all good in the Hood of late. Not only is he a former winner here at the Super Series, but the player from Glastonbury has been making a big noise on the PDC Challenge Tour of late. Paul Nicholson will tell us more.
He's had a great season. A couple of last 16s, couple of quarterfinals, and a win as well. Big moment for Justin. Winning Challenge Tour 14. 8 games he won to win that tournament. And when you consider that winning a Players' Championship tournament these days involves 7 victories, and they only have 1 per day, that is hard enough. But when you're playing 2 events a day at a Challenge Tour event, and you've got to win 1 more than that minimum, that is some effort. And don't even get me started on who we beat, because it was a who's who of the Challenge Tour.
And has had some decent success on the Pro Tour as well. Notable wins against the likes of James Wade recently, who is
32.
in fantastic form.
And somebody who's into the quarterfinals of the World Grand Prix as well, at the expense of Gezi Price tonight.
Yeah, great win for Wade in Leicester, a tournament he's won twice before. But he was no match for Happy Feet.
Justin is a walking, talking reason
121.
why, if you've got ambition, you can play an awful lot of darts, even without a tour card. You can have success in many arenas
83.
if you've got the talent, the drive, and all the motivation that Justin needs is to win money, because he wants to win. Well, he wants to buy a Chinese restaurant.
41.
He said it to us.
Yeah,
That's what he wants to do.
I'm glad you put it that way, because sometimes one of our colleagues says he wants to buy a Chinese takeaway. Wouldn't really need to win that much for that.
100. Just in the car, 167.
How's his fortune here? Hogan looked pretty good
100.
in his opening
All the car,
match against Petersen. Yes, it tailed off as the game went on, but if he's on a hot streak, he'll want to stay there. Make the most of those early fixtures.
Yeah, deceivingly good 89 average.
94. Just in the car, 67.
Going to stay down the 17s for this one. And unlike most lefties, he's going to go for 32.
51.
A little
Polgar,
wince
24.
from Justin Hood.
Game shot on the first
A little
leg.
win.
Paul Hogan.
For Paul Hogan, who lands the first leg. Against the throw.
Second leg, Paul to throw first. Game on.
Strange twist of fate that recently Justin was at Pro Tour events
100.
and he drew the same person in the last 2 events in the first round. Rob Grundy, former weekly winner here. And he lost both games,
92.
but by different margins. He didn't actually win a dime at the triple header earlier this month, losing out to Grundy twice
85.
and once to Nathan Rafferty, proving that even winning one game on the PDC Pro Tour is not a simple thing, even for somebody in form.
99.
But what Challenge Tour players getting those invites should do is look at those Pro Tour events as a bonus.
100.
Or am I getting this wrong? Because now we look at it slightly differently with Plaisir, with Scott, with Kist, all
58.
vying for a World Championship spot in the Pro Tour Order of Merit without a tour card.
And next year, I think we'll see even more of that
94.
with the extended to it. You can bet your bottom dollar that in every event, I would say, on average, a dozen players won't be there.
121.
I'd have to agree with that.
Polgar, 122.
And that makes the Challenge Tour even more attractive.
96. Justin Carr, 131.
Not the smartest leave by Paul Hogan, but that's kind of expected at times with him. This has become expected of Justin. But that's just out.
115. Polgar, 26.
He could be 2-0 up. He might be 2-0 down.
Game shot on the second leg.
It doesn't
Paul
matter
Hogan.
what Hogan left. He hit it,
Third leg,
and he
Justin
doubles
to
his lead
first.
in this match.
Game on.
Let me take you back to Series 3 when Justin Hood won his week here at the
96.
Super Series. He had a very interesting finals night, losing his first match 4-1 to Leonard Gates, but then recovering to beat Martin Thomas. Then Barry Van Peer in the semi-finals, a man
100.
who was riding high in the Challenge Tour last year himself. And then a 4-0 whitewash win against Jacob Taylor to take the title. Of course, both players ended up at Champions Week in the end.
99.
And then one of them made the series final, but it wasn't Justin Hood.
85.
And both of these guys have a name which is synonymous with a fictional character, of course.
96.
And neither of them use that fictional character as part of the nickname. I mean, Paul Hogan's a bit of an open goal with Crocodile Dundee, but I was going down the lines of Hulk.
140.
As for Justin, the most famous Hood is from about 900 years ago, called Robin.
60.
And I've heard he wasn't bad with the old arrows.
$140. Justin Carr,
Is Robin more
150.
famous than Little Red Riding?
Yes, in my opinion.
92.
I've already said that Hogan likes the
36.
top right corner of the board. He really does.
Oh, he likes it that much. He assumed it was in.
He had very happy feet there, didn't he? Now he's
Game
got
shot on the
really
third
happy
leg.
feet.
Paul Hogan.
Yeah, very happy Hogan tonight. Even Paul Hinks is
Fourth leg, Paul to
beaming
throw
like a
first.
Cheshire cat.
Game on.
They're all smiling. What a lovely day it's been.
I challenge anybody not to smile when Justin Hood is smiling. He's got one of the most infectious smiles I've ever seen.
100.
That's where the happy comes in. He's a really good character. is Justin.
59.
But on the dartboard, he is very hard to dispatch. And Hogan's doing a fabulous job so far. And if I may, in some of his weekly campaigns
45.
over the last year, he's got off to some really slow starts. I mean, his record is pretty good in making Saturdays. 6 from
58.
10.
Well, you can really impose yourself on Group B, can't you? If you're given that fixture list of playing 2 of the first 3 matches and you win them both, you've already done a lot of the work.
85.
That is true. But if we look at last week, Adam Lipscomb made hard work of it because he won the first 2. He would then go on to lose the next 2
96.
and was under a little bit of pressure to get a result early on the Friday night. It just so happened that he did.
171.
And he got a win from 3-0 down. Funnily enough, look at where we are. But this might be the second consecutive 4-0.
96. Paul the Car 100.
He's going to go treble 16. Had a good look at the situation,
52.
weighed it up, went his own way.
He just got rid of all of the jeopardy there.
96.
And
Paul the
it's
Car
entirely up to
48.
him where he goes. To stay in the bottom left corner. Now he needs to go up.
39.
There's a bit more jeopardy now.
Justin Car 96.
Yeah, different reaction this time to the Colgate smile we saw at the end of the previous leg. And it's sharp
Game showing
shooting
the 4th leg. Justin
from Hood.
Fifth
And
leg,
Paul
Justin
Hogan, you can
deserves
see
first.
kicking
Game
himself. It's Sulk Hogan in the background.
I've missed you, Murph. I would never have thought of
57.
that. Because the one thing on the tip of my tongue this entire game is something that I have implored Justin to do
43.
with his merchandise. I don't even know if he's got any. He's got some dart shirts, obviously. Some people aren't bothered about selling stuff with their name on, but if Justin doesn't have a hoodie,
125.
then that is a missed opportunity. Who wouldn't want a Justin hoodie?
100.
Or slippers. Happy Feet slippers.
93.
A hoodie to Justin Hood would just be a onesie, wouldn't it?
$45.
I think he might have just heard you. That wouldn't be a bad thing to wear on Halloween at the end of the month. Playing in a
97.
onesie. We can relax the rules for the day.
Well, Paul Hogan better not relax too much here because we did point out against Petersen the performance tailed off. He's mismatched darts here, but the performance is tailing off once again.
81. Justin Carr 129.
Justin's job right now is just to stick to his task and do the right things at the right times. A bit like this.
105.
Even though he hasn't taken that shot out, that's worked out well.
85. Justin Carr 24. Getting shot on the fifth leg. Justin
Hood snapping at the heels of Hogan.
Six
Closes
leg
the gap
Paul
to a
through
single
first.
leg.
Game on.
Hogan will feel he has to win it in this leg. He's got himself embroiled in unnecessary drama here.
100.
Well, twice today we've seen somebody come back from 3-0 down to win. You said earlier it happens on average once a week. It's happened twice in a day
76.
already, and we still got 7 and a bit matches to go.
$60.
You mentioned that win against James Wade on the Pro Tour recently. If you compare the two actions, and it's got Nothing, by the way, to do with the fact that they're both lefties. Their actions are very similar. Pronounced spin of the dart,
83.
poking it forward, back and through. There it is. Forward, back, through. Exactly the same as Wade. However, Justin doesn't have as much rigidity with his action as James does.
58.
No, I'd never noticed that before, but I think that's an eagle-eyed spot from our ace analyst, Paul Nicholson. Pretty much a sped-up James Wade, isn't he? As opposed to the
100.
original James Wade, which is pretty much a fed-up James Wade.
You're trying to say he's the speed machine.
99. Polakar 158.
To win the match, he's got 6 starts from here, but where have we said that before?
60.
Should he have gone to the 18s with the last start?
Possibly. Could get entangled again, couldn't he? Make it awkward for himself.
92. Polakar 98.
Justin is hanging around just in case things go awry for Hoagie. Double 12 again. This
James
time he
showing
gets
the
it
match,
right.
Paul Hogan.
And a 4-2 win for Hogan does feel familiar because he's now got 2 of them against 2 of the favourites for this group and 4 points in the bag after the first 3 matches played by everybody. That will feel very, very good. Averages of 88 and 85 and a bit have got Paul Hogan at the top of the table, with everybody else having 1 more match to play before the halfway point on Thursday. So when we come back, Terry Nash, he'll be looking to get off the mark, just like Devon Petersen. Welcome back to the action on Thursday night, and somebody is about to get off the mark with 2 points in the ledger after this one, because Terry Nash and Devon Petersen suffered defeats in their first game here in Group B. Nash wasn't good enough against Noa-Lynn van Leuven, As for Petersen, just couldn't manage to get rid of Crocodile Dundee in the first game of the night. So now that those games are done, they can pit their wits against each other and see if
Game on.
they can now join Noa-Lynn on 2 points. And maybe, at some point tonight, get onto the same as Paul Hogan, who's had the perfect start to the evening.
100.
We had a very interesting start to Group
41.
C earlier, where people were quick to get to 4 points. But by the end of the schedule, things bunched up a little bit.
100.
We could have the same scenario here on Thursday evening. But Nash is going to have to play better than he did
100.
against Noa-Lynn. Didn't get a dart at a double, and that's got to change.
Yeah, one player's night changes
Okay.
immediately here, doesn't it? The other will feel like they've got the world on their shoulders and a mountain to climb bearing that weight.
140.
When talking to Matthew Edgar last week, we were talking about
55.
how you feel in certain colours. And apparently, the most conducive colour for success is yellow.
85.
And according to Matt's research, he said the least successful colour
55.
when it comes to
Teddy
sporting
O'Connor,
environments is red.
135.
And that's not good news for these two.
$77. Devon
Seems
O'Connor,
unthinkable, that. Man
151.
United, Liverpool, Arsenal.
Anything to do with Jurgen Klopp now?
Just checking what's remaining.
88.
Devon Petersen asking
Teddy
the
O'Connor,
referee, the
58.
founder of dartboard maths.
First start at a double for the night.
Game shot on the first
First
leg.
visit
Terry now.
yields a leg win for the first time as well.
Second leg, Terry to throw first.
I mentioned his little
Game on.
most recent business venture, Devon Petersen. He is so full
45.
of opportunities and initiatives that give back to the game of darts, isn't he?
Yeah, I think
60.
when we was here the last time, we talked about the pressure that's been on his shoulders. Trying to compare him to some other people
58.
in world darts is very hard. Because if you think about Barneveld, for instance, in the early to mid-90s, a lot of
57.
the Netherlands were putting pressure on him to carry his country into the next generation of darts.
60.
That's hard enough, but Devon has almost been carrying a continent. And even when doing that, trying to salvage
140.
or even save his career at the top level, he's now been demoted to this level off the Pro Tour,
58.
trying to rediscover form.
Check 42.
But all the while, he's been thinking outside the box, trying to think of other things he can do to stay
100.
busy and to stay relevant so that he can get these ideas out there.
And it's about legacy for him, isn't it? All the ideas he has are about
100. Devon O'Connor, 144.
that. No man is an island, but he's almost single-handedly responsible for the African qualification system for the World Championship and the
50.
new edition of the African qualifier here at the Modus Super Series, which will be Charles Losper at the end of this series.
And before the end of the week,
100. Devon
I'm going
O'Connor,
to
94.
single-handedly walk down these steps, shake his hand and say thank you for the ability to get Charles here. Charles is an old friend of mine. I haven't seen him for years.
34.
And if it wasn't for Devon Petersen, I may
90.
never have seen him again. So there are more people in that part of the world that we want to see. We want to see a double 18 here,
60.
although Devon
Devon
didn't.
O'Connor, 60.
Well, 60 is not a nice finish for Devon Petersen. His darts stand up. So he'll be relieved to get a clear look at double
50.
10, but he can't take
Terry
that
O'Connor,
either.
36.
And Terry Nash might be digging himself out of a hole from earlier, having lost 4-0. His first match, he's 2-0 up in his second.
leg, Terry Nash. Third leg, Devon to through first. Game on.
It's not a great game so far. And even Terry is scratching his head at what's going on with the scoring. The double's
70.
not bad. 2 out of 6. But in the scoring stakes, there's not a great deal of happiness in the treble 20 department.
55.
And what will be troubling Devon, I suppose, will be the fact that he's made so much progress this week that you kind
100.
of just expect it to continue. You expect it to be linear, and it's very rarely the case. So often it's a couple of steps forward,
59.
then a step back, and so on.
And he knows from experience that things can go very badly on a Thursday in a Group B situation. It's happened to him before.
180.
And he will be feeling urgency running through his body.
81. Devon O'Connor,
Get into this game
151.
soon, and do not let Terry get that 3-0 lead. So far, so good in leg 3.
91.
Now, with that 74 in mind, you've already touched on leaving 60, Murph. Is he better off going treble 18?
96. Devon O'Connor, 60.
He gets the single, he won't have a dart in the way if he went the other way to 18s. And he would have left double 10 had he hit the treble.
Game shot on the third leg. Devon Petersen.
It's almost an argument with two conclusions there, isn't it? He's hit the
Full leg Teddy
60,
through first.
but I
Game
still
on.
think the other route is better for him.
Well, there was a dart in the way, but he managed to avoid it and find the targets.
43.
And now Terry falters and opens the door for Devon.
One out of them, 40.
With both of these throws, there's a
70.
little bit of movement when the dart is projected. And I am starting to understand
100.
what Devon needs to do. It's one of the benefits of sitting in this chair all week. You can view so many reps
134.
and figure out what's going on. Unlike a lot of dart players, one of the most
60.
crucial parts of his body is actually just under his right armpit. There's a muscle under there which I
44.
look at his body and it looks tense to me. And when it's too tense, the dart comes out too late. When it comes out right, that happens.
180.
And he's thrown that to leave himself 21.
85.
Devon
Devon
Petersen
O'Connor, 21.
Just fancied it.
2 4s to be level.
Game shot on the fourth leg.
That's
Devon
more like it.
Petersen.
He's got a very
Fifth leg, Devon to
rangy
through
throw.
first. Game on.
To me, it looks like there's a bit of tension in the upper body. But when that area is more relaxed,
36.
and when that checkpoint, when the dart is brought up to address, is spot on, it clicks so well when it's right that there aren't many players in the
40.
world who do it better than Devon. It's just a question of repetition.
And he's found the sweet spot, hasn't he, suddenly?
One out of them, 40.
But there was a time, we may have mentioned it several times this week, but there was a time, probably for a
95.
couple of months, where he could have been argued as being the best player in the world.
Yep. That was a very fair assumption. You don't beat Johnny Clayton
100.
in a European Tour final convincingly without having talent. He went through the top
16.
2 Welsh players in that tournament.
Yeah, he was hitting astronomical numbers in the Players' Championship events week after week as well. Didn't really
180.
translate into huge major success, but got that glory. Me and you Actually commentated on a 9-darter of his in that spell.
59.
Ah, the old
45.
choo-choo 9-darter. That's right. This wouldn't be a 9, it'd be a 14.
Getting shot on the 5th leg.
And
Devon
the lead.
Petersen.
And just like that, from 2-0 down,
6 legs
he's ahead.
through first. Game on.
Look at the change.
Yeah, it clicked. Something clicked.
121.
With a look in the first 2 legs, which were won in 6 or more visits, and then he goes 15, 15, 14.
60.
That's about 102 for that period of the last 3 legs.
57.
He does talk to himself an awful lot on the hockey as well. That's not disrespectful to the opponent. It's just the
57.
way he likes to remind himself of the things he wants to do. But obviously, when Devon is playing well at the minute,
95.
Nash is going to have trouble with that. Look how relaxed that dart was.
140.
An incredible 140. That was a worldie of a 2-treble visit.
44.
Getting annoyed that he's just lost that range for a couple of visits, Devon Petersen.
Well, he's just taking it a little bit quick all of a sudden. That was a much
58.
better dart, much better rhythm with that one. He's trying to figure out what is going right, but
100.
it's the actual rhythm. He hasn't got it down pat yet. It's there, he just doesn't know the timing of it.
95. Teruka,
This is all
84.
free advice, by the way. If he's watching it back, who knows what could happen next for him. What's happening next
Being
is a
shot on
one-leg
the 6th
shootout.
leg. Terry Nash.
He stops the rot with an 18-darter, does the Welshman.
7th final leg. Devon to through
And
first.
somebody's
Game
going to
on.
have 2 points after this. Someone is going to have none.
Back in the red bit.
140.
And what a final dart that was.
I'll tell you what, it's not just about the 180s tonight for Devon
100.
because he's got 5 over 2 matches. In this contest, his 140-plus column has got 5 on its own.
100.
And that highlights that huge difference in
95.
power scoring.
Now that 130-plus column, that actually includes nothing of 130 to
131.
139. They are all, until that last shot, 140-plus scores.
59.
You'd like to add another here, wouldn't he? 130 exactly. To win the match. Double 8. And Devon delivers the winning legs 15, 15, 14 and 12. A delightful dozen darter to break the deadlock. And he won the match with his highest Modus Super Series checkout, the 130. Getting him over the line against Terry Nash. 91.17 the average in the end, but over his winning legs the stats are astronomical. And we are seeing signs that Devon Petersen is returning to his best form. Coming next, Noa-Lynn van Leuven takes on Justin Hood.
Please welcome to the stage, Angry Ginge and John Henderson.
And this is where... Hang on, wow. He's on the bounce out there for Nyland, but you do not expect him to get another visit in this match. John Henderson, double 10. And he pins it to take the opening encounter. Devon coming up first for double 10. He's the one that left it, and he's the one that hits it for the opening leg.
They talked a good game, didn't they, beforehand? They've not quite so delivered it as of yet.
He's still got Devon Petersen.
The favourite from this moment. Oh, hello! It's the big favourites.
Goes 2-0. But it doesn't.
The most successful player at the Super Series is the man who turns it around.
He's got it 1-0. Away days and Bradley Brooks. Macy a double-double. Does go double 19. What's another double 19? Great shot. Wow, very, very good.
The Bradley Brooks show.
No 180, unfortunately. He did go for this one.
But this could go. This is a match opportunity.
And both their dots stand up, so will they block it? They will not. John Henderson to take himself. I think he was going for a 7 there, but it doesn't matter because he's going to hit it anyway. 47 kills.
Still an opportunity to showcase what he can do. And that's what Steve West can do. A double-double to get the job done. When you get those nerves, you just hang on to the dart a bit too long.
Steve West finds tops for a breaker throw. Tops for the match. Darts for fun and Steve West.
Steve West and Darts for Fun!
Welcome back to the Modus Super Series on Thursday night. And now that Devon Petersen has made his way to 2 points, Justin Hood is hoping to do the same. However, Noa-Lynn van Leuven, who started with a very effective win against Nash by 4-0, has got aspirations of getting to 4 points alongside the leader, Paul Hogan. Any win in this contest for Noa-Lynn will see her go to the top and keep happy feet towards the basement.
Game on.
That first performance of the night,
40.
an average of 91.09, 4 out of 9 on the doubles with a maximum. It's the kind of performance that you can realistically expect from yourself if you've prepared the way you want. But when you do it against the throw,
140.
it just feels a little bit better. So now that she has the darts, it might be something that she can use effectively against the person who is most likely at the start of play to win this group.
140.
But at the end of this match, we'll already be 25% through this group scenario. And if you're at that
60.
point without points, your positivity has been sapped a little bit.
52.
Now, Justin's performance against Hogan, he found himself a couple of legs back, fought his way back into the match.
139.
But ultimately,
129.
it was Hogan who was able to get over the line, getting enough chances. There's no chance of the 129.
73. Justin your car 108.
Double-double in that position. A 50-50 call. Double 16 for Justin.
76. Noa-Lynn your car 56.
Okay. Double 12.
$44. Justin your car 32.
Justin's double 16 so far has not been pinpoint. He's trying to figure out how to get there.
16.
And yet
Noa-Lynn
again,
your car 12.
the bottom left corner may just bite the dust of leg one.
Game show on the first
Noa-Lynn
leg.
has now
Noa-Lynn
won
van Leuven.
5 straight legs for the night.
Second leg just into through first. Game on. $83.
There is a conceivable possibility that in Game 9 this evening, we could have 2 players vying for 8 points from 8. Noa-Lynn against Hogan is Game 9. If they keep winning, someone might have a perfect
58.
evening.
$96.
Considering some of the numbers that we've seen from Justin recently
83.
and the consistency we've seen, his performances tonight have looked a little bit ragged.
100.
And if you can recognize that as his opponent, you almost put pressure on yourself to exploit it.
58.
That's why you've got to stay in a relaxed frame of mind and just do your thing.
He's looking a little bit confused, isn't he?
45.
And I think she was a little bit confused about where to go. There were plenty of other options available.
That was a bad call. You're on 170. You're better off
77.
going around the board there. The 18s for me was calling. Worst case scenario, if you hit the big single, you leave 152.
95. Just a car 142.
It's amazing how many times slightly questionable board management has not been remembered this week because
118.
they've taken the next shot
Noa-Lynn, your car
after
70.
the approach anyway. If that happens again, it's going to be 2-0 to Noa-Lynn.
It's one dart double, and that double is double 16.
54. Just a car 24.
Hood comes back.
Double 6.
12.
Nothing
Noa-Lynn, your car
seems to be
16.
clicking for Happy Feet so far.
Game shot on the second leg.
Noa-Lynn is
Noa-Lynn
taking
van
full
Leuven.
advantage of the fact that her opponents haven't turned up yet.
Red leg Noa-Lynn to throw first. Game on.
She'll be hoping that they continue not showing up. But I have a theory. I've already mentioned the tops prowess a couple of times.
32.
On a 70 checkout, I can totally understand going for treble 18. You get the treble, you got double 8, not a problem. However,
100.
if you get the single and you've got 52 left, if you're as good at tops as I think Noa-Lynn is,
95.
why are you going to leave double 16?
You can see that she's not happy with her performance here. She'll be very happy
45.
to be in the position she is without playing anywhere near her brilliant best. In fact, it's now 6 straight legs tonight for Noa-Lynn van Leuven.
47.
That triggered a memory from earlier this year when Noa-Lynn made her debut on the Pro Tour. 6th of
58.
May. First game, Gary Anderson. Welcome to the PDC Pro Tour as a substitute player. Gary won 6-0.
125.
And he was eliminated from the World Grand Prix tonight by a very impressive Mike de Decker. And Belgium have had a bit of a night because Dimitri Vandenberg has taken out Dave Chisnell.
80.
Yeah, no Dutch in the second round, but 2 Belgians in the quarterfinals.
99. Just in a car 118.
They might just meet in the semis.
58.
That would be
Noa-Lynn, your
a
car
thing of interest. This is a
103.
thing of interest for Noa-Lynn van Leuven.
It is tops.
83. Justin Carr, 60.
Wasn't far away. Justin Hood will hope for 2 darts at the same target. One of them flies too high.
20.
Second is closer,
20.
but not close enough.
He's had more darts at double than Noa-Lynn. Now they're level. But the key thing is,
Noa-Lynn
Van Leuven is now on the cusp of winning the first 2 games in Group B
through first.
by 4 legs to 0. I mean, who saw this coming?
Game on.
There's probably a part of herself on the stage thinking, what is going on? I'm just doing my thing. Average 91 in the first game. Sometimes you will win 4-0 with an average of that. But if you'd have said to her at the start of this one, you're going to average 75 after 3 legs, she would have said, I'm probably 3-0 down. 55. It's the other way around.
$58.
Can she have the perfect first half
60
of the night?
In footballing terms, if you've gone 4-0, 4-0, that's like being 5-0 up at half-time in a Premier League game. You can't ask for more than that.
95.
And Paul Hogan's had a really good night so far. He's on 4 points. But if Noa-Lynn wins this leg, Hogan's going to find himself 4 legs behind.
40.
But the job over the next couple of nights, it is solely to be in the top 3.
135.
To put yourself into Saturday to have a chance.
100. Justin Carr, 117.
So 117. 17. And tops.
97. Noa-Lynn, your car, 146.
That is a 10th dart at a double without success.
$57.
And if
Justin
nothing
Carr,
more,
20.
just wants to hit a double to
Being
show that he
shown the
can
fourth leg,
in this
Justin
contest. Who knows what will happen from here now that he has hit a double.
Fifth leg, Noa-Lynn to through first. Game on.
One in 11.
59.
Must feel like 1 in a million. For Justin Hood, who struggled so badly in that department. But we have seen games threaten to turn around tonight.
100.
Can you imagine what your confidence would be if you had 1 million darts at a double and you didn't hit one?
Don't have to.
$41.
Well, this in itself is a test for the Dutch lady because even when you're ahead handsomely, you already
91.
know, even without looking at stats, how you're playing. And she will not be happy with how she's playing. And dart players
100.
are synonymously negative. They will focus on how they're playing more than the result. This is where you've got to fight your way through the
81.
tape. You can feel somebody gaining on you, but you've got to look forward, not look back.
97.
Well, there is a door open here for Justin Hood.
And I don't know whether Justin has been
44.
toying with a different set of darts on the stage because I'm sure the flights have changed in this game. But I haven't seen him change the flights on the stems. I think he's got 2 sets up there.
25.
I do believe that after the second leg, Justin Hood changed the flights and stems. The barrels have remained the same.
Turns out you're a bit more eagle-eyed than I am.
96.
This is good. Now Justin knows he has to hit this.
Justin car 89.
Otherwise, it'll be curtains.
It's one pot shot at the bull.
Game shot on the
And
fifth
that
leg. Justin
is
Hood.
all he needs. 3-2. Game on. Throwing for parity.
Sixth leg, Justin to throw first. Game on.
Splendid shot from a splendid player. You can pull those out of the bag when you're having a good season, but if you're having a bad year
One of them, 40.
and a bad night, you don't hit those.
No, he's a fantastic player, Justin Hood. And he's
134.
on the rise, I think, in the world of darts. I think we're going to hear more from him and see more of him.
95.
I remember seeing Justin for the first time around 5 years ago. Technically, I was very impressed at the start. Wasn't sure where he was going to go,
140.
but he is definitely a better player now than he has ever been. At least the results tell us that.
41.
I mean, in the averages list on the Challenge Tour, he's 4th. The only people above him
47.
are Connor Scott, Daryl Pilgrim, and John Henderson.
Yeah, that really is esteemed company.
58.
We've got to pass on our congratulations to everybody who made the semi-finals of the World Masters today, including Connor Scott
60.
and
Justin
Wesley
Carr,
Plaisir,
167.
the defending champion.
167 here. Not going to happen. So Van Leuven will get the opportunity to wrap it up here and now.
96. Noa-Lynn, your car, 120.
Got to do a Gezi, hit 3 tops. Wants a shot at 1 from the other side. And that will do very, very nicely. 2 wins, wins 8 legs, only gives up 2. And at the halfway point, Noa-Lynn Van Leuven is going to lead this table. And topping Group B is something she's done before. So this will feel very, very familiar. Top level not needed, got the lead. After a mini fight back, she found a 15 darter with the 120 out. And that is the halfway point of Thursday night.
Welcome back to the Modus Super Series, halfway through the evening's action, and this is what has happened so far. We've seen 2 wins for Noa-Lynn Van Leuven. The first one 4-0. Justin Hood threatened a comeback but went down 4-2. Devon Petersen recovered from a 4-2 defeat to Paul Hogan to beat Terry Nash, and Hogan also beat Hood, meaning he also has a couple of victories to his name. Nash without any points. Paul Nicholson is alongside me. Let's start with Noa-Lynn Van Leuven, because you mentioned it in comms. She's not entirely happy with how she's playing, but she's got to be very happy with the outcome so far.
Yeah, I think a couple of bright sparks in the 2 victories. One, towards the end of the first game, something was starting to bubble up, which is good. Took a little bit of time to get going with the standard in the second game, but finished well. And even when you've had a game which you've won and you've finished it with a really, really good finish in 15 darts, you go back to the practice room with your tail up instead of just whimpering across the line. You've actually run through the tape, and that fills you with confidence going into the second 2 games of the night.
Speaking of confidence, back after winning a week in the previous series, Paul Hogan winning both of his matches tonight. Is he, in a way, despite being second in the table on leg difference, going to be happier than Noa-Lynn?
Yeah, maybe. I think he's given himself a lot of chances tonight. And in the past, Paul has gone on the stage, especially here, and beaten himself up unnecessarily. Has he made a couple of mistakes tonight? Yes, he has, tactically. But he still walked away with 2 wins. The most important message for the most experienced player tonight is just keep doing what you're doing and smile, because you're in a very strong position and you can put people in a very bad position by the end of the night if you just keep on point.
And a player that's gone from a potentially bad position to a potentially strong position is Devon Petersen. What a turnaround in that match against Terry Nash.
I've got so much respect for what he did in that game, because he was drubbed in his first match. Took him a little bit of time to get going in this one, but by the time he did, superb. Just got rid of it. And the 180s have been there tonight. There have been plenty of big scores. And again, just like he was in Group A, he's going in the right direction. The bad darts are starting to be minimised, and the good darts seem to be getting there. It's almost a shame that we don't play a longer format, because you get the feeling with Devon, if we were playing best of 11 or best of 19, towards the end of that match, you'd start to see the kind of player that he wants to find.
Yeah, and if he puts that run together from the start of a match, he's going to have a huge average at some point. It was 15, 14, 14 and 12, his winning legs in that game. Here is the league table after the first couple of fixtures for each player. As we mentioned, Noa-Lynn Van Leuven and Paul Hogan share the lead at the moment with 2 wins apiece. Devon Petersen, 1 win, 1 defeat. Quite surprisingly, Justin Hood joins Terry Nash. He was the outsider, was Nash, but Justin Hood was the favourite. Neither have points.
Yeah, Terry would admit that he just hasn't played well tonight. He's way off the pace, so that's got to change at some point. As far as Justin's concerned, it's just been a bit erratic. There's been some good stuff in there, but not enough of it. And it's got to be the other way around. If you're going to have bad stuff, it's got to be small. If it's good stuff, it's got to be plenty. And if Justin can't turn things around by the end of the night, he won't be in the top 3 come Friday.
Well, we will return to tonight's action in just a moment, but a quick break to let you know who is going to be on the Super Series stage next week. John Lowe Dart likes doing the Luke Humphreys finish.
Ashley Coleman.
And those 3 words are, you are mine. And that is reeled.
Probably a bad time to make that point, wasn't it?
Clever match darts. Owens, good 20 for tops. Tops of the match. So eventually got the line. He does it in style.
She's there as well after a dozen. See something supersized here. If Large can bed the ball. Oh, what a shot that is.
The bullseye to add the 161 to his ever-growing collection of big finishes.
Yeah, next week we'll mark the halfway stage of the series, and it's not half bad, is it? A couple of Champions Week finalists there, Colin Osborne and Tom Sykes in Group A, along with the Prince of Darkness, Ashley Coleman. Daniel Larsson, the Swede, making his Super Series debut. In Group C, Jamie Owens, great amateur footballer, looking to get his scoring going once again on Super Series stage, along with local player Charlie Large. And in Group B, another ADC Europe rep, Victor Tingstrom, who's had success here before, along with Joe Mernon and Rob Collins. Paul Nicholson's alongside me. Paul, what really leaps out for you there?
First of all, Daniel Larsson, vastly experienced supermarket owner from Sweden, but international player for many years. And I'm going to make this call right now. The winner of next week will either be Tom Sykes or someone from Sweden.
Paul Nicholson makes his prediction. You can watch all the action from 9:30 a.m. on Monday morning. Double sessions as always, Thursday and Friday. But right now we are in the midst of a Group B battle on week 5 and a meeting between Paul Hogan, who won his week in the previous series, and Terry Nash, who hasn't won a match so far tonight. And if Hogan wins this match, he is going to have a foot in finals night already.
I see this game in two different ways.
Paul through first. Game on.
For Terry Nash, this is a really bad time to be playing Paul Hogan. If you're Paul Hogan, this is a very good time to play Terry Nash.
45.
If we look at this from an experimental point of view of what we've seen tonight already,
125.
This has got a Paul Hogan win written all over it. But if darts was that black and white, a lot of us wouldn't even watch.
100.
We'd just say, show us the result then. So for that reason, I would not be shocked to see Terry win this match, because darts is very unpredictable.
$81.
Yeah, we have seen players turn things around, even after one night of losing all the games in this group. Never mind just the first couple.
140.
Terry looked almost surprised to get a 140 there. But he does throw those darts with a little bit of ferocity.
105.
Paul gets his maths right this time. Wow, look at the puncture wound that he left in the board there after that wicked deflection. Paul's best ever finish on this stage is 156. And the last time he was here in a weekly campaign, he did it twice. 88 for Terry. And for the first time tonight, he leads.
Second leg Terry to through first. Game on.
Is this something he can use? Already looks like a different player.
140.
Well, Hogan back on the money, but then he's gone straight through the flight.
117.
You'll need to change that.
There have been occasions in the past where Hogan has done that and he hasn't changed the flight, but that was mashed.
It was done with such force that it almost didn't stop, did it? It almost carried on to the board anyway.
Well, just to give you some sort of insight as to what Paul's just done, he has threaded a dart point halfway through 81. A 50 micron flight. 50 microns. That's a measurement you can barely see with the naked eye.
30.
Well, he didn't like what he saw that time. Only a dirty 30 for Paul Hogan.
140.
And Terry Nash can set up a naughty 40.
I did warn you that this was possible.
41. Terry O'Carr, 40.
Sometimes when you win your first couple of games, you can think that the third one will come fairly simply. It doesn't work that way in darts.
Terry Nash.
Some people are very good at being the chaser.
First. Game on.
instead of the chased.
$100.
Going to be enjoying this tungsten tussle so far, will
99.
Terry. Much happier than anything he's been engaged in before. But Paul Nicholson, I've got a question for you. You are our premier analyst here at the Modus Super Series.
60.
Explain that.
The baby? His nickname's Boss Baby.
85.
Ah, I see now.
Everybody calls him Nashy because, and I had this conversation with Joe Croft last week. I said, you can have affectionate nicknames in sport. So people call Joe Crofty. But as a
59.
darts nickname, it's not very good. It's not brandable. Not in my opinion, anyway. People will call Terry Nashy. But his darts nickname is Boss Baby. With Hogan, his darts nickname is Crocodile Dundee, but people call him Hoagie.
40. Paul the Car, 40.
So we've got the baby boy and the boss baby at the Super Series in consecutive weeks.
Game shot on the third
But
leg.
it's
Paul
Hogan who crashes in the double.
Fourth leg Teddy to through first. Game on. $100.
I desperately want Paul Hogan to play someone called Mac here. So we can have someone who might be nicknamed the Knife.
100.
And then we could come up with the line, well, that's not a knife. That guy's got a knife.
131.
That's the dream scenario, but it hasn't happened yet. I do wonder as well, because
81.
we have had an Australian Super Series winner in Raymond Smith who coincidentally has not been back here
100.
since winning. So if we may go down the Tyson Fury route, he's the lineal champion. But in 2025, I think it would be great to get more representation over here
100.
from Australia. It is logistically challenging, but I do have ambitions of it happening.
Oh, you watch this space,
80.
Mr. Nicholson.
Roger that.
$140.
Well, 90 is the equation here. He's gone straight for the ball. He's hit the ball for tops. That was cheeky, wasn't it?
70.
Nando's level of cheek from Nashy there. But he couldn't finish it off. And Paul Hogan makes him pay.
So that's not a tops.
Fifth leg Paul to through
That's
first.
a tops.
Game on.
And Nash looks deflated. I think he goes with
59.
Nashy because he can't be Nasher. Because Nasher is taken by John Scott.
81.
He's got the dog on the back of his shirt, hasn't he? The one from the Beano.
It belonged to Dennis Priestley, I believe.
60.
Who's a neighbour of our very own Paul Hinks, isn't he?
Well, they're neighbours.
Yeah, both live in the same area.
Well, everybody needs good neighbours.
In South Yorkshire.
I can imagine walking through Mexborough and just running into a glut
60.
of people who you know from darts. Probably Darren Johnson, Dennis Priestley, Paul Hinks, and a whole host of others.
Although you do well to see Dennis. They're usually in Tenerife at this time of year.
60. Teddy Car 140.
Can you blame him?
Well, Nash here has left himself a finish after 9 as he looks to recover from the disappointment of missing 2 darts at double in the previous
120.
leg, and he'll get 3 at least in this one.
Oh, come on. Don't take those risks. I mean, seriously.
137,
The last 2
20.
darts were thrown at the wrong beds, and he's found himself on a finish anyway.
Game shot on the fifth
It matters
leg.
not a
Terry
jot
Nash.
as Nash edges ahead.
6 leg Teddy to throw first.
Paul Hogan congratulates him there, but Nash now has the
Game
darts
on.
to inflict the first defeat of this group on Hogan.
Do you know what? When it comes to that area of the game, we see it from players of Paul's era. Phil Taylor,
95.
Steve Beaton, Paul Hogan's involved in that, and some other players. And they're just never going to change. So there's no point in us going on about it.
26.
But every now and again, if you do the wrong thing,
26.
you are going to get punished for it. Weeks and series here have been decided
100.
over one visit. Just got to do the right things at the right times and give yourself the most
64.
opportunities you can. And sometimes players don't do that.
Oh, that's a decent
140.
return for Paul Hogan, who is threatening here to force a decider. And remember, he's won all his matches so far. He would have the darts in it.
100.
What's he going to... Is he going to leave 175 here?
No.
No.
$80.
How did he slip wayward into the one with his last dart? Hoagie could have still left a bogey.
That sounds like a bit of merch.
60.
Well, he needs
Bogey
to
on a
Paul
bogey
Carr,
t-shirt.
155.
got to have a chat with Devon Petersen, doesn't he? And check out his merch. Oh, not
Oh.
again.
Seriously? I think that's the same flight.
Not another one.
39. Teddy Carr 156.
Well, lightning strikes twice.
60.
Not in a good way.
Paul Carr
Causing destruction for Paul
116.
Hogan. I'll just fix it, Paul. Change it. Have a pit stop, man.
I think he's kept the same one in there.
Double 18. He loves it here. And that is
Game shot on the
why.
sixth leg. Paul Hogan.
All square. Paul Hogan forces the sudden death shootout.
Seventh and final leg. Paul to through first. Game on.
I sincerely hope that Hogan has got spare flights on that stage, because if he hasn't, he'll have to use a ragged one. It's that first one. It's still the same one.
66.
Nash will be thinking, if I lose this game, I might not win a game tonight.
140.
He has been in charge of it. He's played improved stuff, averaging nearly 92 to this stage. But he'll feel cursed if he walks away with a third defeat.
60.
But Paul Hogan just struggling with those battered flights. Needs to follow that old Arrows adage. Look after your flights.
43.
That's it. It's just look after your flights.
$100.
I don't actually know who makes his flights. I don't even think he's got a manufacturing deal with anybody. He's just
43.
got stuff that he's had for years, and he might have had a run of flights made for him, and he's only got a certain amount of them left. I'm just estimating, by the way.
105.
But if somebody's out there and they want to make him a new run of them, please just stick your hand up and give him some flights if he's short.
43.
Well, he was smart
Paul
enough to
Carr,
leave the
170.
170 on that occasion. It ain't going to go, but it won't matter.
100.
That could change everything. Last throw of the dice.
140. Paul Carr 70.
If this is sharp, like a knife, it could be his game.
Double 16.
Game shot on
And
the
it
match.
is
Paul Hogan.
a Hogan hat trick. of the Super Series. An embrace with Terry Nash, who, as a result of that defeat, remains at the foot of the field without a win to his name. But Paul Hogan has picked up 3 and goes top of the table with 6 points. And he's done most of the work already as he bids to return to finals night. The doubling was the difference in that one. 4 out of 5 for Hogan, including that match levelling 116 checkout before taking out a nice 70 shot to win it. Hogan remains unbeaten. Can Noa-Lynn van Leuven do the same? We'll find out when she faces Devon Petersen next.
Welcome back to the party in Portsmouth here at the Modus Live Lounge.
And he was right.
Van Velzen's had opportunity, but it's Steve West that takes his opportunity.
Does he get one this time? The jury's out. Is the double in? Listen to that! And Jimmy Van Ski is still alive! He's made it! And Marvin Van Velzen!
Jimmy Van Ski probably felt he's already been out already tonight. Surely not again. Oh, Jimmy! It's a wry smile. What a finish! What a man! What a response!
Of the 5-time weekly champion. It's Jimmy Van Ski who makes the final! Are we, Jimmy? You bet we are! One leg to see who the champ is. Yes, he can! Marvin is the man!
Marvin Van Velzen!
Welcome back. Game number 7 of 10 here on Thursday night. Just about to go into Friday morning. And it is a familiar match. Petersen against Van Leuven. Fixture number 4 of the week. And what we've seen so far tonight are 3 players winning, 2 players not. But these are 2 of the winning players so far. But before we get too deep into this one, this fixture has not been kind to Devon this week.
Game on.
He's fought valiantly against Noa-Lynn for the last couple of days, but has lost 4-3 on Tuesday and Wednesday. And
43.
he probably doesn't want me to mention the game they had on Monday because Noa-Lynn won by 4-0. That was at the end of the Monday session. Seems like a long time ago now, but with a different group, different ambitions for Devon, and a win here would get him level with Noa-Lynn on 4 points.
Yeah, but even though he suffered defeats in all of those games, it
45.
just further highlights the point how much he improved on Tuesday and Wednesday. 4-0 to 4-3 in both of those matches.
26.
Game to game, Devon has been quite hard to predict.
100.
I actually think Paul, you made a really good point in our studio chat that maybe, just maybe, Devon Petersen would prefer a longer format because we've seen him
60.
find his best stuff towards the end of matches when often it's been too late.
Well, think about it this way. For 10 years, he's been conditioned to play best of 11.
96.
That's like spending a decade being a 5,000 metre runner, and then all of a sudden, because you've had a downturn in track form, you think, you know what, I'm going to go and try the 1,500. It's a totally different thing.
100.
Well, we saw him turn it on
Devon
against Terry Nash as he
52.
came back to win that match. His average for his winning legs, 109.3. That's what he can do. That's what he can do. And Petersen has the lead against Van Leuven.
Second
Can
leg,
he
Noa-Lynn
stay
through
there?
first. Game on.
Don't stress, Devon. Win the first leg. Enjoy that first leg for a couple of seconds, then go through a positive process again. Stop
95.
telling yourself off. Listen to someone who knows. That is energy sapping.
Well, that will give him a new burst of energy. Mentioned three-figure averages. Well, he's threatening to produce one here already. But that is a first-grade response.
Devon's already got 7 maximums. He's in the midst of his 3rd game.
85.
If he could get more consistency with the other departments, the tons, the 140s, and a little bit more on the doubles, that's very close to a finished article product. 180s are great. They grab headlines.
45.
They get people excited.
Nolan, your car 148.
But it's the follow-up scores that ruin them.
$88.
Yeah, started this leg with a 180 and finds himself unable to do anything to stop Noa-Lynn Van Leuven taking it.
65. Nolan, your car 60.
1 dart at tops.
40.
Should have been 2.
126.
A chance to steal. 19s has to find a way around that into the green. No, sir.
You can see the size of the darts he
58.
throws. They're like
Nolan, your car
javelins.
20.
He catches 1 millimetre of that flight and it ruins the shot.
Game shown
And
the
as a
second
consequence,
leg. Noa-Lynn Van Leuven.
17 darter this time for Noa-Lynn.
Third leg, Devon is through first. Game on.
Noa-Lynn Van Leuven is coming into what is
41.
without a doubt the most important week of her career. That women's series bunch of events next weekend, it could vault her into mainstream world darts.
84.
Onto the biggest stages this sport has to offer, with the biggest exposure and the stuff that dreams are made of.
She has a healthy-ish lead over Fallon Sherrick. Nolan's in second place. And the top 2 go through to the Grand Slam of darts. Now, Bo Greaves, already qualified, has such a lead. Noa-Lynn showing here why she might just be the most likely companion.
You aren't kidding. What a leg of darts.
60. Nolan, your
And
car
it's just
36.
the finished article that is needed. That
Game
is a
shot on the
10
third
darter.
leg. Nolan Van Leuven.
And the lead is hers.
Fourth leg, Nolan to through first.
And if we may dispense with
Game on.
the obvious, if Noa-Lynn qualifies for the 2 biggest events at the end of the year, she will grab the headlines.
100.
And that is something she'll have to be comfortable with.
Yeah, the Ali Pally on the cards as well as things stand. £2,200 ahead of Fallon Sherrick.
42.
Fallon Sherrick had to overcome a similar deficit last year, though, against Mikuru Suzuki.
Do you know something? It's almost a shame
83.
that we can't have 4 ladies going to the Worlds this year, because we've seen a wider spread of form this year
140.
with Noa-Lynn, with Makuru, with Fallon and Bo,
Gemma Hayter, another one who was excellent here at the Super Series.
96.
and she's just getting started. I think next year, if she takes that form into 2025, she could find herself easily in the women's match play.
140.
Well, she's in the provisional places.
$58.
We will be seeing the Modus Super Series Women's Week winner as well in this series, Rhiannon O'Sullivan, as promised, given an opportunity in the main event.
158. Nolan, your car,
Petersen's left 21 for the
164.
second time tonight.
I can't believe how many times this week people have gone for singles and hit the corresponding
100.
double.
W car 21.
Single 16s hit double 16. Single 17 hit double 17. Single 19 hit double 19 and win the leg.
Game shot on the 4th leg.
That
Devon
is a
Petersen.
rather strange 15 data.
Well,
Looks like
completed with a
Devon is the
finish
first.
that has only ever
Game
been
on.
taken out 31 times at the Modus Super Series, and he's done it twice this evening.
Why would you pluck that out of thin air really quickly?
140.
Well, the little shouting match at himself seemed to do the trick there.
137.
Good game, this. Van Leuven averaging 100. Around about the same that she was averaging towards that
180.
challenge to her victory, and will forever be known as the first female player to win a challenge tour event.
Noa-Lynn had a great game
134.
with Stowe Bunce earlier in the week. This one is rivaling it.
Yeah, 5 180s in the match.
60.
The doubles are world class. The averages are excellent. Sometimes you need a really good dance partner to have a great match.
60. Devon car 121.
Treble 17 will give him a go at the bullseye. He gets a go at the bullseye.
90.
Do you know what, Murph?
Nolan, your
Earlier
car
in the week,
170.
he was starting on bull in that shot. Something's changed.
58. Devon car
It's not 21 this time, it's 31. He's leaving himself really obscure numbers. He's missed a single again.
So 31 becomes 29. That becomes 16.
15.
And that gives Noah
Nolan,
an
your car
opportunity
112.
to break.
Doesn't last long.
Well, the reaction as well, right in front of her opponent.
42. Devon car 16. Game shot on the
And
5th
Devon
leg.
knows she's
Devon
miserable now.
Petersen.
3-2 to the South African ace.
I
Six
can't
leg,
see
Nolan,
anybody
into the
called
first.
Smith around
Game
here,
on.
can you?
$140.
Could be the first defeat of the night for Noa-Lynn. She was undefeated on Friday, sorry,
83.
Thursday, but now that it's Friday, it's a new day, and Devon is hoping that Friday is going to be very, very good.
57.
You've played in this exact group, Paul. Do you feel an almost uncontrollable fatigue if you
140.
don't manage your time correctly?
I learned very quickly from Mark Webster at the start of my career that if you play late at night, you sleep in the
95.
afternoon. You program yourself for the day. So if you're on late, like these guys are, you make sure that you rest in the afternoon
60.
effectively. I didn't feel tired when I played Group B because I did what I needed to do. But if you stay awake all day,
34.
you don't eat right, you don't hydrate right, come this time of night, something kicks in, and it's a natural tiredness that you have to just fight. And this is a sport where if you're jet lagged or tired, you almost play
94.
blacked out. You do stuff and you don't remember it. I've played jet lagged in Australia and New Zealand before.
60.
It's not nice.
WK 124.
These two shouldn't have a problem with it because they've been in Group B before. They've got experience. And Devon's got a match start at the bull.
77.
Another one
All in your car,
goes begging.
115.
Van Leuven can stay in it, but now Petersen
59. WK 47.
gets a glorious chance for his first win against this opponent this week.
$15. All in your car, 56.
Real bellow of disappointment.
Here comes the peeing.
16.
But apparently,
WK 32.
Devon might be the pain killer.
Huge, huge moment in his week for his chances. But he
16.
can't take those
All in
chances.
your car, 40.
He's missed the bull. And 5 darts at the outer ring to win this match.
Game
And he'll
show on
have
the
to try
6 flag.
all over
Noa-Lynn van
again.
Leuven.
Noa-Lynn
Semi-final
just
leg, Devon
cannot
to
believe
first.
her luck
Game on.
that this game is still going.
From being a dart away, Devon back to 501 points from winning the game. Makes pretty good progress.
180.
That's 180, number 4 for the game. That's his best 180 effort of the night in a
55.
match. Albeit playing a game that's yielded the most legs.
$60.
Look at the story there for Devon Petersen. It's pretty much all or nothing, isn't it? If he's getting a treble, he's getting 2 or 3.
Correct.
40.
But the backup score again is trebleless. That's happened a lot this week.
It's another little come on, Dev.
What's
60.
he doing staying up there? You've got a blocked 60, not once but twice. Devon. I don't mean to scream at you,
60.
but seriously, go for the 17s. Going for that 60 there made absolutely no sense at all.
Well, it's kind of got to notice how disappointing this leg has been from Noa-Lynn van Leuven.
60.
9 darts thrown, still in the mid 300s.
57.
And not
WK 141.
a single big treble hit in a dozen.
It's been very straight.
95.
I think it's a good job he got that maximum. Otherwise, he'd be involved in a really tight leg.
Still might be, because Noa-Lynn van Leuven lands the match's 7th 180. But Devon Petersen finally finds the key to beating Noa-Lynn. A big smile, a warm embrace. He's worked hard to get that victory. 4-0, remember the defeat at her hands on Monday, followed by 2 4-3 reversers. Well, today is Devon's day in this starting duel. He wins the match, and it's a win that puts him level on points with the opponent he has just beaten. Great win for him. Coming next, we're going to see Terry Nash and Justin Hood go head-to-head for their first points of the night.
Please welcome to the stage, Angry Ginge and John Henderson.
And this is where... Hang on, wow. Angry Ginge! He won the bounce out there for Nyland, but you do not expect him to get another visit in this match. John Henderson, double 10. And he pins it to take the opening. Devon coming first for double 10. He's the one that left it, and he's the one that hits it for the opening leg.
They talked a good game, didn't they, beforehand? They've not quite delivered it as of yet. You still make Devon Petersen. This is a big favourite from this moment.
Oh, hello.
It's the big favourites.
Goes 2-0. But it doesn't.
The most successful player at the Super Series is the man who turns it around.
He's got it 1-0. Away Days and Bradley Brooks. May see a double-double. Does go double 19. Wants another double 19. Great shot. What a shot. Very, very good.
The Bradley Brooks show.
No 180, unfortunately. He did go for this one.
But this could go. This is a match opportunity.
And both their dots stand up to. Will they block it? They will not. John Henderson to take himself. I think he was going for a 7 there, but it doesn't matter because he's going to hit it anyway. 47 kills.
Still an opportunity to showcase what he can do. And that's what Steve West can do. A double-double to get the job done. When you get those nerves, you just hang on to the dart a bit too long.
Steve West finds Tops for a breaker throw. With a triple 20. Tops for the match. Darts for fun and Steve West.
Steve West and Darts for Fun!
Welcome back to the Modus Super Series, where there are 3 fixtures remaining tonight, and the first of those 3 is a battle between the pointless pair. Justin Hood, the favourite to win this group, and the outsider, Terry Nash, yet to pick up any points. For Nash, the situation is worse than it is for his opponent, because he is now playing his last match of the evening, whereas Hood could turn his night around with a couple of victories to end the evening's action. We've just seen Devon Petersen get a hard-fought win against Noa-Lynn Van Leuven to put himself onto 4 points. Noah on 4 herself. Paul Hogan on 6 at the top of the table. So really crucial for, well, either of these players to get off the mark.
140.
It truly is. Because at this stage of night 1 in Group B, you've got to look at what is the worst case scenario.
96.
Let's face it, Devon Petersen is starting to put something together now. He's got 4 points. And if he beats Justin Hood in
96.
Game 10, that means that we'll have one person on 2 points. Possibly
135.
one on 0 points. And the rest are miles away. It's that situation
79.
that rears its head every now and again, where the top 3 are in the distance and the bottom 2 have got a ridiculous amount of work to do come day 2.
44.
It almost makes this the most important game of the night, based on the information that we have.
60.
Yeah, one will stay in it. Well, Justin Hood's got the insurance policy, as we mentioned, of the match against Devon Petersen, but I wouldn't fancy my chances at the moment. Well, I never would, but
98.
if I was him, I wouldn't fancy my chances.
And one thing that is encouraging for Terry is that when he played against Paul Hogan, he was much better. Lifted his
43.
level by well over
128.
10 points. He may need that once again, but at which point do we start saying that Justin is not
84.
playing to his
83.
current form here this evening?
Double 9.
Game shot on the
That's
first
nice
leg.
from
Terry
Nash. And Hood could be in a world of trouble.
Second leg, Justin to throw first. Game on.
Just like Hood was in the 12th century with the Sheriff of Nottingham.
$100.
Yeah, Robin Hood's mantra was taking from the rich and giving to the
60.
poor. In this game, he's trying to take from the poor when it comes to points, and he wants to be the rich man.
100.
Yeah, well, both pretty poor, aren't they, in terms of points? Couldn't be poorer, in fact. Nothing in the bank balance.
41.
Fortunately for these players, we don't have a process like Premier League football where you can have points deducted.
100.
But I don't think we should get into that subject.
140.
I think he was just caught in the blocks earlier on, Terry. He lost his first game 4-0. After that, he lost to Petersen. He fought valiantly to take it to the last leg
177.
decider. But of these two players, I think Terry is the most likely to win.
This is car 24.
Well, it hasn't
He's
gone
on
right
the
at the end
second
of
leg.
legs.
Justin
Every
Hood.
time he's on a double, it's been hard work for Justin Hood tonight.
The leg carried it
Isn't
first.
living
Game
up to
on.
the billing that we gave him, that the bookies gave him, that he's given himself with his recent form.
58.
I could easily hide behind this blanket saying of darts is on the day. But I don't invest in it.
99.
I'm one of the few players who have been to the tour who just don't invest in that saying. I think it's a cop-out. Because if you
47.
wake up in the morning and you do everything right, you should succeed. Simply saying that darts is on the day is saying that this
58.
game is lucky. It isn't lucky. If you prep right and you do the right things leading up to playing, you're more likely to succeed than if you don't.
100.
Well, darts is on the night here at the Modus Super Series, and you could be here at finals night on Saturday. Tickets are available. Scan that QR code. Get yourself down to the live lounge. It is
140.
a hub of Arrows Entertainment, and I am reliably informed that they are selling
60.
like hot cakes.
Probably got something to do with the fact that Stowe Bunce is going to be here on Saturday night.
44.
There may be a queue out the door at around 6:30 of people wearing pink trousers. I wouldn't be surprised.
52. Just to car 160.
She'll be watching. Looking forward to the Neon Nightmare on stage on Saturday night, but it's Stowe away
60.
for Thursday and Friday, having won Group A.
$82.
Right,
Just to
Hood
car
now has an
100.
opportunity to take control of this game. Can he do something clinical?
Could be.
80.
Just not
Just to
quite.
car 102.
Nash's best finish tonight is 89. It's not going to improve right here.
49. Just to car 20.
So 2 10s for Justin Hood on the wire. And then
No
the
score.
wrong bed.
Car 53.
Anything that could have gone wrong tonight has gone wrong for Happy Feet.
But can more go wrong?
Game shot on the third leg. Terry Nash.
Even when he takes that leg for the 2-1 lead,
Fourth leg Justin just
he throws up
first.
the
Game
hand
on.
in apology, and he's showing nothing but negative signs. They are both feeling like flour because they've both gone through the mill.
136.
It's a labour of love at the live lounge. The emphasis for this pair is on the labour, because it has looked like hard work, hasn't it?
140.
Darts is hard most of the time. You live for the days that it feels simpler,
96.
and the darts just flow, and it just doesn't work that easily for people. You've got to work hard to get to that point.
57.
There are going to be days like this where you'll go to a knockout tournament and you'll go out round 1 because you just didn't play well. And the feel is
99.
not there, even if you've gone through your entire daily process. But if you remain
96.
resolute in this format,
Disregard 170.
you can still walk away with points even if you haven't played your best. Oh, this would be so ironic.
145.
And you can understand him going for it because he really wants some kind of rocket to launch him.
140. Disregard 25.
Now he's got the remainder to clean up. It's 2 darts at double 8. That becomes 1 at double 4, and thinking that was in will stop his rhythm a little
Game shot
bit,
on
so
the
he will
fourth
be a
leg,
relieved
just in
man
hook.
to see that one nail the double.
Fifth leg Teddy to throw first. Game on.
Right now, these guys have got leg difference problems as well as points problems.
81.
Devon Petersen in the middle of the pack has got 4 points and a leg difference of all square. These two, at this point in time,
140.
are on 0 points and are on -4 and -6 respectively.
60.
Whoever turns this around to get the win in this game, come Friday night, they're going to have to beat
77.
the members of the top 3 as it stands. Because if they don't, they're not going to make Saturday.
180.
Justin's record of making Saturdays is extremely impressive. 6 out of 7.
98.
In this position, he's under more doubt of
140.
making Saturday night than ever before.
And wasn't the one he missed Champions Week? And didn't that happen in dramatic fashion right at the death?
170.
Well, there's a 170.
40.
And it was a beautiful one as well.
20.
And it might just be
Disregard 16.
the shot that gives him something to work with.
Game shot on the fifth leg. Justin Hood.
So he gets the lead. Remember, he's still got another match tonight. He could come out of this
Six
evening
leg
with 4
Justin to throw
points.
first. Game
And
on.
that QR code I showed you earlier, well, that takes you to dartshop.tv, and I'd advise, if he does pick up 4 points, book him pretty quickly, because Justin Hood
99.
tends to bring a bit of a crew with him, doesn't he?
Yeah, doesn't he just?
96.
The expression of Nashy at the end of that leg, my word.
96.
It was almost meme-worthy.
Well, it's been an interesting day of darts. We saw
95.
a fantastic debut from Ricky King this afternoon. Thomas Lovely winning 4 out of 5 matches. Everybody probably apart from
59.
Nick Crowell. I nearly said Tim again. Staying in the race, but also the World
100.
Grand Prix this evening. Some interesting results there. If you have been out or at work or whatever, just to recap. Mike DeDecker beating Gary Anderson in straight sets. James Wade beating Gerwin Price in straight sets. Joe Cullen out of form this year,
177.
winning the last 6 legs to beat Darryl Gurney 3-2. And Dimitri van den Berg denying Dave Chisnell's
100.
latest major title bid with a 3-sets-to-1 victory.
Don't get me started on trying to explain Dimitri. With 4-2 Hood,
Game
just
shot
the
on
ticket.
match, Justin Hood.
And Terry Nash is going to walk away from the first night of Group B sans points, because 4 games doesn't yield a win, and Happy Feet might even walk away with 4 points. If he gets a little bit more of that kind of stuff, almost a 95 average. He's going to trouble Petersen in Game 10, but before we get there, it's going to be Hogan against Noa-Lynn van Leuven, and Paul Hogan has a chance to walk away with 8 points from the night.
Welcome back to the live lounge here in Portsmouth, where on the stage we have Paul Hogan from the county of Hampshire, looking to enjoy a perfect night. A stone's throw from home, and maybe a stone's throw from finals night as well. A victory in this one will put him on 8 points. It's almost impossible for Hogan to be eliminated if he does win all his matches on the opening night. But he has got a tough test. Noa-Lynn van Leuven, who sits in second spot, although defeated Devon Petersen in her previous match. Although it was her first, it does mean that she is only on the same points as Devon, and Justin Hood, if he beats Devon in the final game,
Looks like Noa-Lynn to throw first.
well, they could have
Game on.
a three-way tie on 4, and things would look very, very interesting. Can Hogan keep it up? Can he complete the card? Let's find out over the best of 7 legs.
100.
Interestingly, it's been a rather magical night here in England because
41.
from the northern tip of Northumberland all the way down towards Portsmouth, this country has been bathing under the northern
100.
lights. It's all over social media. Incredible stuff. But now we're looking to see who the leading light is.
40.
Oh, not again. That's 3 times. Get it changed, Paul.
$28.
Well, the chat about the Northern Lights interrupted by another chat about the Hogan flights.
Has he changed one?
140.
I'm not even sure he has, you know.
He went to the table. I'm not sure
137.
if he weighed it up and thought, well, value for money, it'll go another leg or two.
It's already cost him at least 60 points.
70. Noa-Lynn your car 136.
136 for Van Leuven. No such trouble for her. Uses more modern equipment.
40.
Yeah, moulded flights. And it does have a design on it that if the point hits the
54.
top of the stem
Noa-Lynn your car 96.
flute, it actually skids off it. Double 18.
Game shot on the first leg.
And a start in
Noa-Lynn van
17
Leuven.
darts gives Noa-Lynn the chance to lead
Second
this
leg, Paula
table
through first. Game on.
overnight if she gets a healthy win.
$95.
Paul Hogan hoping to put a foot in finals night with victory here. If he does manage to
125.
win this match, he would be as relaxed as one of the crocodiles on those flights, wouldn't he?
Yeah, that's fairly relaxed. And he's turned up tonight
100.
not wearing his usual darts attire, which is a Crocodile Dundee shirt with West Brom colours.
He's thinking a couple of nights ahead, Paul, isn't he?
180.
Yeah, he's only got 2 colours. So we'll wear the polo shirt on the Thursday and we'll save the better colours for later in the week.
Well, from what
100.
we've seen, he's a contender. He's certainly a contender once again. So, is Noa-Lynn van Leuven.
180.
I think we might be starting to see that Noa-Lynn is more comfortable playing at night. She might be a night owl.
Well, this for a 10-darter. She's hit 8 treble 20s in this leg.
100. Noa-Lynn your car
And
16.
for a second 10 of the night.
No
Oh,
score.
no.
And look where
Paul
Hogan
Car,
is waiting.
106.
Can Paul pounce? Possibly.
It'll be a 10.
Oh, just... You were right. He just about got
70.
it right.
Noa-Lynn your car 16.
But he really had no right to win that leg.
$8. Paul
This
Car,
has been
36.
served on a plate to Hogan. And you
Game shot on the
can't leave
second
him
leg,
on
Paul
double
Hogan.
18. Not when he's playing like he has this evening.
Third leg,
He
Noa-Lynn
is
to
yet
throw
to
first.
taste
Game on.
defeat. And he believes that that was a gift. He'd be right.
Again, practicing for Saturday there, celebrating towards the audience.
57.
He's a very likeable fella, Paul Hogan. Had a chat with him before today's show started. You saw that ahead of his
100.
first victory over Devon Petersen, and he's kind of happy-go-lucky, isn't he?
He's impossible to dislike. There's nothing to dislike about Paul. He's just a lovely man.
85.
Our spotter Owen Bink said he can't stand him. Oh no, that would be Paul can't stand him.
55.
That makes more sense.
$99.
If I never ever play in a UK Open again, I am actually quite proud of the fact that Hoagie will be the last person who ever beat me there.
I forgot about that. You brought it up
60.
tonight, Paul.
That was a long time ago, but if that is to be the case, I'm okay with that.
Beat Adrian Lewis, beat Gary Anderson in Minehead.
43.
Who can forget that bounce out on the bull that the Flying Scotsman had to win that match?
$45.
That's a great first start. Now the switch here,
137.
just knew that she was going to go to the 19s, but I still believe, even if the 137 is found, that the switch there is 17s.
140.
Because you'd rather leave
Nolan
120
Carr,
than 118 if you get the single. 2 flights in the way of tops.
41.
And it
Paul
puts
Carr,
pay
101.
to that opportunity. Doesn't get the 45. So Noa-Lynn is going to find herself
65.
again
Nolan
in the
Carr,
bottom left
39.
corner. Okay, so now she's on 23. Double 2?
35. Paul Carr, 36.
Can't leave him on double 18.
Game shot on the third leg.
That's
Paul
proved. Hogan makes his point and takes the lead and
Paul
has the
Paul
darts
through
as he
first.
carries
Game
on a
on.
march towards what would be a perfect first night in his Group B bid.
Now, when Noa-Lynn was on 39, it brings up a really interesting scenario.
100.
You can leave yourself on 39 by accident. Let's say you're going for the bull, you hit an 11. So this is something that
60.
will crop up at times. If you get a 7, you leave double 16. You get a 19, you leave double 10. You get a 3,
85.
you leave double 18. That is a huge chunk of that dartboard. Missing north of that 7, if I may be
100.
frank, is a monstrous mistake. If you're going to miss that 7, miss it right. You still get a shot if you miss right,
60.
even if you miss a segment over. But by missing high, you get nothing. And it's caused chaos in leg 3.
98.
Well, this could be a very, very important match. Look, Paul Hogan's going to have some insurance, whatever happens in this game. But if
100.
Noa-Lynn loses it, having won her first 2 matches, then her position in terms of making finals night is far from
60.
safe. She's going to have
Paul
a lot of
Carr,
work to do tomorrow.
156.
She's going to be exactly the same position that Adam Lipscomb was in last week. And Friday night was not easy for him.
140.
Well, you have to be impressed with what Hogan has done tonight. He's
96.
done exactly what he's needed to
Paul
do in
Carr,
every single match
16.
he's played.
Two 4s to stop things getting complicated.
8.
And we might have a level game here.
87.
She's missed 8 darts at double in this match. Is there another?
62.
It's close,
Paul
but it is a
Lucar,
miss.
And you got the sense she was only ever getting a dart at the bullseye. The way that first dart was delivered, played it a bit safe. Hogan hunting double 2. Doesn't like the lie.
6.
And that is
Nolan
why.
Yokar, 25.
This is like past the book, this game. And
17.
yet
Paul
again,
Lucar, 2.
the book is passed back. I didn't think I would see an 8-visit leg in this contest.
Game shown
That's
on the
exactly
fourth
what
leg.
we've just
Paul
seen.
Hogan.
One more leg
Fifth
to
leg,
have
Noa-Lynn
4
to
wins
first. Game on.
from 4. And we know that that will be very, very close to
55.
qualification. But it wouldn't cement it just yet.
Almost impossible, isn't it, to go out on 8 points? We have seen
78.
it before. It is possible to go out on 10 points, but that would rely on a 4-way tie on that tally.
85.
I've seen Sean Griffiths go out on 8 points before, and that was freaky. That was a long time ago, though. And that was a group involving Fallon Sherrick.
140.
Oh, Paul Hinks there gave it the full Neil Warnock run up to the camera, didn't he?
Well, some referees would pick the flight off the floor and say, there you go. And Hinksy was just saying, get it yourself.
85.
He's a fantastic addition to the Modus Super Series, a
83.
fantastic servant to the sport of darts, and should be treated with maximum respect,
100.
especially at the age of 176.
$85.
We get on well like that, don't worry. Don't at me.
I thought it was 17.6.
95. Paul
I'll tell you what, there are younger
115.
men who couldn't stand there doing what he's done all day. But there
Game
aren't
shown
many
tonight,
who could
Paul
do
Hogan.
what Paul Hogan has done today, because that is absolutely perfect from Crocodile Dundee. Played for, won for, and that is the start that he desires. He's been taking in the adulation of the imaginary audience all evening, but he might be playing in front of a real audience on Saturday night at the Super Series. He's taken the first 4 steps with victories in every single game. Noa-Lynn van Leuven ends her evening by winning half her matches on 4 points, and now can be overtaken by Devon Petersen if he can beat Justin Hood in tonight's curtain closer.
Fabulous start from the young man. Right. World Youth Champion. Oh, what a response that is from his father. Back-to-back 140s. Siding leg of 7. My goodness, back-to-back 180s. Well, we've seen 2 9s in last year's Modus League. Seen a couple of 10s. Haven't seen a 9 yet in the Online Darts Live League. Double 19. Double 12 for the 9. And he gets the 9. What a way to win.
B would be a contains the 5 players. 3 progress to Saturday's final.
60.
Of course, that emphasis is on qualifying for Saturday night's final, because the the runner-up, and the winner of the 3rd and 4th place playoff will get their crack at Champions Week.
180.
Trying to get their hands at £7,000 first prize.
45.
Some of you on the forums earlier here.
180.
Oh, welcome back, Martin. Where have you been? Where did you go?
100. Martin, you require 141.
Double 12.
Game shot in the
Absolutely
first leg.
outstanding
Martin
from
Adams.
Martin Adams as he hits a 9-darter.
Welcome to the final match of Group B on Thursday into Friday morning. And one thing we do know is that both of these players have points coming into this match. And miraculously, Happy Feet Justin Hood could overtake Devon Petersen if he wins this game by a certain margin. And that would resurrect his chance of making Saturday once again. But if Devon Petersen finds himself in 4th position overnight, he will feel very frustrated.
Game on.
And ahead of their game, which will be at around 10:05 tonight, this has got some importance on it.
98.
I don't think it's an understatement to suggest that matches between Justin Hood and Devon Petersen could determine which one of them makes it through. If Petersen wins
81.
one of the games, he's in a very strong position. But if he loses both and Hood overtakes him over the next 2 fixtures, then he is trying to climb uphill. And suddenly Justin Hood is kind of
59.
surfing a little bit.
Justin's going to be the first person to finish his quarter of 8 matches in Group B.
60.
His last match will be against Paul Hogan in Game 8 on Friday night. By the time he gets to that,
180.
he is hoping that he's on 8 points. That would mean that he needs to win 3 of his next 4
93.
games.
Just in the car, 164. $125.
It's reared its head again. 39 is back. Now, what does Happy Feet do from 39?
59.
I've already said you
Just
can't go
recall
high on
39.
a single.
Double 16. Devon not at the races.
Game
And
shot on the
I think
first
it's
leg.
been a bit of a
Justin
habit,
Hood.
actually, tonight. First leg has been a bit of a warm-up for Devon Petersen.
Second leg, Devon to throw first. Game on.
It's in leg 2 where he starts firing.
His first game of the week. It was the first match of the week against Fallon Sherrick.
100.
He averaged 91.5 with a couple of maximums and was defeated by the Queen of the Palace. And we thought at that point, yeah, he's lost his first game of the week, but the
100.
standard was good. He'd then lose again in his second match, averaging pretty similar. And you thought, it's going to be one of those weeks, isn't it? Where he plays well and
140.
doesn't succeed. If anything, the overall standard has dropped and it's been more erratic.
93.
But he did lose his first game on Tuesday as well. But by the time Wednesday came around, he was starting to figure it out.
180.
Oh, I said he would get firing in the second leg, and a 180 comes. He's hitting more of those than anybody this week.
132.
Now he's looking at a potentially 11 darts. A treble 19 or treble 15 would have done just the same job.
You mentioned earlier that we commentated on his 9-darter in Niedenhausen. He did go 57-24, didn't he?
He did, yeah. A lot of players actually do that. Michael Smith is an example who might not
96,
always go that
Devon
route, but when he's on a
32.
9-dart finish, he will.
Dart 1 is in the way.
Game shot on the second
he finds a
leg.
way through
Devon
anyway.
Petersen. Third leg just needed through first. Game on.
This is a very follically challenged group, isn't it?
100.
I mean, I wasn't expecting that to be the takeaway of the evening, but I can't argue.
It's the Michael van Gerwen effect.
140.
Aerodynamics in darts.
$119.
We have seen quite a few times him just trying to G himself up, Devon Petersen. We've seen a lot of times him staying on block targets.
60.
Now that I've counted to 10,
58.
Stop doing it, Devon. It doesn't work. If you block the bed once or twice, don't stay there. I know you want to do that a lot. Fair enough when you've got the first start in. But if you keep blocking the bed, you're going for a target that is shielded.
I've got to say, the maximum hitting tonight has been out of this world. from Devon Petersen. Couple in as many legs already. Now he's looking at 11 for the bullseye to back up the maxi with a big finish.
Game shot
And there it is.
Devon Petersen.
Delightful darts from Devon Petersen.
He's got 11 maxims for the night. That is well over an average of 2 a match.
Stand by for 12.
180.
What has he done since I told him off? He hasn't missed a dart.
60.
At all. 180, 121, 180.
And here comes another one. Well, he deserves booing for that.
100.
I could have got us all excited. You could have been getting the choo-choo out again, Paul.
I think we'll leave the choo-choo where it is.
60.
I think when I coined that phrase, I'd been watching too much Ralph Wiggum. When it's there, it's just remarkable. And the funniest thing is, we looked into his career earlier in the week. Do you remember that semi-final that he lost on the Pro Tour in 2020 to Gezi Price? He averaged 113.5. That's still his personal best average in his career.
But the thing is,
and it's a game he lost.
He was doing loads of averages in that 105 to 113 range at that time, wasn't he? It was the frequency of the big numbers.
75. Devon Car 40.
I don't want anybody to get ahead of themselves, but we are seeing a real resurgence. And now he could bust this.
30.
Second time in this match, I just want to walk down those steps, down to the stage and tell him off. That was a mistake. What are you doing leaving 10?
Devon Car 10.
Oh, and then missing the board entirely. When he's on, but when he's off, isn't he?
6.
And those who are avid viewers of the Modus Super Series will be aware that Devon Petersen actually did walk up the stairs and tell somebody off.
56. Devon Car 4.
You left it.
Well, if he loses this leg, it's about a bad decision.
Justin Car 150.
Yes. Clear-cut mistake at not busting that 40 shot.
49. Devon Car 4.
Can he put it to the back of his mind and just get the leg in the ledger? Yes, he can.
Game shot on the 4th leg.
No
Devon
harm
Petersen.
done.
But the more he gets away with doing that, the more he will continue to do it. Sometimes when you make a tactical error, you need to be punished in order to change things for the positive. I was in a World Championship match once, and I had 80 left with 1 dart, and I went for treble 16, and I missed it. And I got 1 dart for the leg instead of 2. And I had multiple people come up to me and say, "What did you do that for?" And I've never forgotten it, and I haven't done it since. Because it was a mistake at that point in time,
121.
And it's a really good opportunity to evolve your game.
100. 134.
It is a really crucial aspect of the game. Not just throwing the darts there, it's where else you throw them and when you throw them.
140, just a car, 149.
You've got to be aware of what you're on, what your opponent's on.
95.
That's really interesting. Trying to get the 133 to leave double 8. That was good thinking.
65. Just a car, 54.
Can he keep the match alive? And the chance of walking away with 4 points tonight alive.
Getting shot on the fifth
Beautifully
leg, Justin
done.
Hood.
It's amazing how things are changing in the live table, leg on leg here.
6 legs,
It's
Devon
only
to
the end of
first.
night 1.
Game on.
Devon is currently projected to be in second position. There you can see where he is provisionally
55.
with the 2 points and the win. Noa-Lynn would finish in third for the night, and Hogan is safe at number 1.
57.
If Devon does win this game, Justin Hood would stay on 2, Terry Nash on 0. The 3 on your screen would be the provisional qualifiers for finals night.
58.
And it's one of those nights that could see us have 5 players on 5 different accumulative numbers. 8, 6, 4, 2, 0.
A little bit different in Group C, which will resume from 1 p.m. on Friday. Thomas Lovely has 8, but then 2 players have 6. Darren Armstrong and Ricky Kinn. Fallon Sherrick and James Richardson on 4. Nick Crowell on 2.
58.
Crowell probably would have to win all of his matches to have any chance of qualifying, but there are opportunities for everybody else. The first fixtures are going to be
122.
really important, so do make sure you tune in from 1 p.m. UK time.
Is it another?
120.
Well, that does happen when you throw the darts the way that Devon does. They go in to the board. It looks like he throws them hard, but they go in feather-like. They actually travel quite slowly through the air.
59.
The patches in this game of purple have been there for Devon. But this is more of an
50.
in-betweeny range at the minute.
135.
And we are at a time where Justin could take us the distance in the last match.
Well, Petersen has the opportunity, and this is the kind of finish that
79. Devon to car,
you fancy him for
160.
based on the first start being in the treble 20, but it's not. You get the sense that had it been, he would have been having a shot at top because he
140.
always seems to follow.
56.
Hood has not missed a dart at double yet.
Game shot on the 6 leg, Justin Hood.
There you go, 3 from 3. He's got the darts.
7th and final leg, Justin to throw first.
And everything
Game on.
hinges on this leg. Hood would have 4 points if he wins the leg. Devon will stay on 4 points if Hood wins the leg.
It goes
57.
down to a decider, and we did say at the start how crucial these contests could be. Not just this one at the end of tonight, but the
100.
second fixture between the pair at the start of tomorrow.
I dare say that the right result for Terry Nash to have any hope
123.
is probably for Justin Hood to win this leg. Because that way, there'd be 3 players on 4 points
60.
instead of just the 2 and a person further away. More people to approach to if he has a really good Friday night.
83.
Paul Hogan doesn't care. He's done his job. He's out of the building. He'll be asleep in an hour.
140.
And Devon doesn't need any more 180s. What he does need is for Hood not to get to a finish.
58.
And that's happened. 6 starts from here to steal the march and to be in a very good position going into night 2. And that was mega aggressive with dart 3.
Justin Hood knows now the Petersen pressure has been applied. All he can do is hit and hope.
Petersen is playing this game like a golf round with half a set. He's just constantly using the same club. And that club is a treble 20. This time, it's a different one.
Game shot
And
of the
that
match,
is an
Petersen.
enormous win for Devon Petersen. A victory that sees the South African fly up the table into second spot on 6 points come the end of the evening, and a really damaging defeat for Justin Hood, the favourite before a dart was thrown tonight, but has only managed to pick up 1 win. Paul Hogan's had the perfect night, and Paul Nicholson and I will reflect on all the action after this.
Welcome back to the party in Portsmouth here at the Modus Live Lounge.
And he was right.
Van Velzen's had opportunity, but it's Steve West that takes his opportunity.
Does he get one this time? The jury's out. Is the double in? Listen to that! And Jimmy Van Ski is still alive! He's made it! And Marvin Van Velzen!
Jimmy Van Ski probably felt he's already been out already tonight. Surely not again. Oh, Jimmy! It's a wry smile. What a finish! What a man! What a response!
Of the 5-time weekly champion. It's Jimmy Van Ski who makes the final! Are we, Jimmy? You bet we are! One leg to see who the champ is. Yes, he can! Marvin is the man!
Marvin Van Velzen!
It's all about getting your hands on the Super Series trophy, and tonight we've seen a couple of players take a step towards it this week. Here is what has happened across the 10 fixtures. Paul Hogan having the perfect night, but Paul Nicholson, the last result may be the most significant. Devon Petersen making a hat-trick of wins at the expense of Justin Hood, the pre-group favourite, who's only got 2 points.
Yeah, the dynamic of the group changes with that last leg shootout, doesn't it? Because at one point you're thinking Justin's got the darts, he gets the win, he goes to 4, and then you've got 4 people on points duking it out. And even Terry Nash at the bottom of the table, he's thinking, if there are 3 players on 4, I can have a good night, I can catch possibly 2 of them. But now with more people in the distance, it's a harder task for him, and it's a harder task for Justin Hood.
Well, we'll have a deeper dive into the table in a little while, but let's talk about the performances of the individual players. And let's start with Devon Petersen, because all week we've been saying something is happening here. Have you seen more evidence of that tonight?
Yeah, definitely. The 180s, they're definitely there. There's been a couple of good finishes as well. The 130 against Nash, the 1-2-1 against Hood off the back of a maximum, and then he starts the next leg with another maximum. So good signs for Devon. It's still inconsistent, but the purple patches are so good that the inconsistencies are somewhat papered over. He's still got work to do, but in order to do the work, he's got to play more. And to play more this week, he's got to succeed on Friday.
Certainly has. Look, Noa-Lynn van Leuven was better than Devon in Group A, almost made it. Stowe-Bunce winning that group by a couple of points, but mixed for her this evening.
Yeah, a little bit. I think the start was very solid. She's had a very similar start to that of Adam Lipscomb 7 days ago, winning the first couple of games and then walking away with 4 points. So a very bright start, but walking away disappointed for the nightly effort. Still, very much in the mix, and get off to a good start tomorrow and the job will be done.
And it could not have been a better start for Paul Hogan, who seems to have a bit of a spring in his step, having won on that stage in the previous series.
Yeah, I think Paul is a very relaxed guy. He's played some really good darts tonight. He's looked really comfortable on that double 18 shot in the northeast corner as well, which is something he's done for years. But some of the expressions I've seen from Paul on the stage, it's not only him picking up legs when he's played well, but he's been picking up legs tonight when he hasn't really expected to get chances. So I think his perspective coming back on Friday night is going to be, I won't get those chances again. I've got to improve just a little bit just to make sure I'm there on Saturday, and I'm sure he will be.
Yeah, he's been a happy Hogan tonight, hasn't he? And he'll be happy looking at the league table, having won all of his matches, sitting pretty, looking like he's as good as through, really. Another win will pretty much cement it tomorrow. Devon Petersen in second, as we mentioned, then Noa-Lynn, Van Leuven in third. But I want to talk about the two that are outside those provisional qualification places and ask you, what do they need to do, Justin Hood and Terry Nash?
Well, Terry needs to start listening to Mike and the Mechanics because he needs a miracle. But as far as Justin's concerned, he finishes his campaign in game 8 on Friday night. So he's the one who has his first 2 games in the first 3 matches. So if he doesn't start well, he's not going to make Saturday this time. So get here a little bit earlier, make sure you're sharp, get out there and get it done. I know Justin can do it. It's just a question of whether the inconsistencies can be rid of when it comes to Friday, because there were far too many of them tonight.
What type of day are you expecting tomorrow across both groups?
Carnage, and I wouldn't have it any other way. I am adoring the way that Group C looks at the minute. I'm not really sure what to expect from that, because anything's possible. But as far as Group B is concerned as well, I would expect exactly the same.
It's going to be dramatic. We will see you then, and we hope to see you then as well. The action gets underway for another double session of darts here at the Modus Super Series from 1 p.m. for the conclusion of Group C, and back at 10 p.m. UK time for the end of Group B. We will see you for some fun on Friday.